Hello there, and welcome to the Final Fantasy Randomizer channel, where we are playing only half Final Fantasy Randomizer, everyone's favorite. This has been a little something from me coming, but welcome to Maddie's Multi-World Mayhem. Throughout the month of May on my own channel, I have been doing various multi-worlds between LADX, the Final Fantasy community, and last week was a mess where we had all sorts of stuff. But to finish it off for the last Sunday in May, I did ask if the Final Fantasy Randomizer channel wanted to have me and my mess over here, so today we've got it with Fizzlebeef, TK Ninja, my brain is melting for a second, Admiral Tryhard, I have not had him on yet, so that's that fault, and a co-host in Dark Moon to help me out, because there is a lot for me to be juggling right now. Say hello.
Hello.
So yes, today is an Archipelago seed, 4 people, 2 on FFR, 2 on LADX, and a lot of this has been prepped for potentially doing a bit of an event later that we might talk about depending on how things go.
Yes, yes.
All of the other runners do have access to talking in here, so you might hear them chime up when they found some stuff. Part of that's for us tracking, part of that's for, communication with Archipelago, which is always super important between your team, and horrible in async, I've heard.
Oh,
not great.
It's bad.
Yes, this is gonna be a fun time. I look forward to this. I like AP. I like the mixing of the games together and seeing all kinds of random stuff up. And this should be a good run.
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
But anyway, so for everyone here, is everyone ready for a 3, 2, 1, go? All right.
We'll see them go live soon.
We will. I get the advantage of, being able to comment on my own stuff live.
We see Fizzlebeef rolling into town. Amute, Kier 2, Soft, and something. None of that looked good. Quake.
Yep.
Quake is... That's some terrible level 1 magic.
Gonna say, you want to talk about terrible starts, an LADX powder start is one of the worst things you want to see.
What does that open up?
That opens up doing things that require bush breaks. So you can check the field, you can check the well, and you can check the beach, but nothing else on the beach. So you can't go into the bomb cave, you can't lift it. There we go, have some gold for Fizzle. That's 3 checks, and then I'm in glorious BK.
So for those watching FFR, one, Admiral Tryhard has cursor mode going on his screen. Just to let him know to move that when he gets a chance. But you're going to see 2 very different versions of FFR going on right now. Lord Fizzlebeef is playing ProcGen Overworld. So the world is going to be mixed up, although quote-unquote vanilla progression I assume is in place because ProcGen plus EF Shuffle is just a nightmare. Meanwhile,
Correct,
what's that? Vanilla? Okay. Admiral Tryhard fighting Fire 2 and Lightning, or Fire 3 and Lightning 3 over at his White Magic shop. Canary, a safe start there for Admiral, but you will notice that because there was Marsh Top there at Canaria Castle, what he has is EF Shuffle going on with the vanilla map. So it's going to be fun kind of watching the 2 of them go back and forth with everything that we have, but there was an AP item sent from Admiral.
Meanwhile, TK and I will be lovingly trapped in Mabe for a hot minute.
Are you both on the same flags, or what are
That's
you
a
playing?
Masa for Fizzle.
Ooh. Well, that helps your no magic start there, Fizzle.
Yeah. It's fine. But yeah, something that people will note, I did get 20 rupees. Rupee logic is always a very difficult thing when it comes to LADX, because currently I can't really get... I'm on tracking. So I've got good old Nanners, I've got Powder, and I know TK's got Boots. And Necklace. I gotta be mildly on that.
Mildly.
Yes. And once you show. Yeah. Oh, I'm just on everything today, it's fine. But yeah, something with the amount of rupees I have, which is 20 if you're stuck in Mabe. So you have two choices with your 20 rupees. Either A, you can play trendy game, which if you don't have powder is generally a good idea because it is a guaranteed thing in Logic. But you also get to see what the item is. Ooh, my slime key. That will be useful later. You also get to see what the item in the middle of trendy is. You're not required to get it. It doesn't unlock anything to finish it. So as a result, I was allowed to go to fishing, which didn't help me much either, but... you know, worth checking out at least. Oh, I can also go to the woods. There's just not a lot I can get in there. So we'll be going to do that while we check things out. I'm going to mark this slime key. Downside of tracking. I do have to stop to
track,
come out of the record thing. Yeah.
And as a bonus for Fizzlebeef, just to make his maps more complex, he does have horizontal flips on for his dungeons, I assume also... or vertical flips on for his dungeons, I assume horizontal flips are also over. That's why he's entering the Temple of Fiend's main floor from the top instead of the bottom, and why everything looks just a little wonky.
Just
I also
a little
have
bit.
swap stairs too.
Oh,
Ooh. Yes, there's been no requirements for anything here.
I'm 4, heal 3, cure 4 at level 3 magic there for white, I think. Over on Admiral's side. That's actually some decent white magic there at the start. That makes the white mage, oh, I guess red mage. That's why you only checked a few of them. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Rack, Bane, Lock 2 for level 2 black. But man, I mean, good thing the black mage has got some good stuff at the first level. Cause oh, and there's Nuke. Well, we have what we need now. Level 3 Nuke.
Yay! That's all you need in life, just nukes.
Just three casters that can do level 3 Nuke. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, for people to know, this is a new version of the tracker, so people may have noticed I just got the Angler's Key, or Angler's Nightmare Key. I can't track that currently. They are a full sprite, so I will just be, they'll be tracked when the runner has enough keys to finish a dungeon. Which means, TK, I don't know your skill level, and you're going to be on telling me on that.
Will do.
Tracker will be updated eventually to have that. Fizzlebeef, I noticed you die there. Do you have save on game over, or no?
I do have save on game over.
Okay, good.
People will notice me just cheating a little bit. It's fine. Nothing. Just be here. Just cheating. All right. And now my least favorite trick. As we wait for a good old bracelet. That has been one of the major complaints that Archipelago for LADX has gotten is you're generally stuck in Mabe to get bracelet. Which I don't blame newer players being upset with that. But there are definitely things you can do, stupid things you can do, but they are things you can do nonetheless. Like, I am attempting to do a trick known as a Brock clip. It has had many names over time, and I got to name its current iteration, so I'm always very proud of it. But attempting to clip through blocks using the nag messages. So I always recommend, if you have nag messages, turn them on. They might be annoying, but they are always useful for glitches. If you turn them off, you can cut yourself out of certain glitch logic things. Ugh. That said, I do not have... I was gonna say, Dark Moon, you mind
Sure.
the virtual camera so that I can see what the others are up to in case I'm in BK mode?
Oh, sure, no problem. Give me 1 second.
Thank you, that'd be lovely, you know?
Fine, no worries. Just gotta make
Yeah.
sure. Gotta get set up. My tech issues prevented us from starting on time, and that is entirely my fault.
Yeah,
OBS virtual.
it happens. Life always comes first.
Life finds a way. Okay, and turn camera on. There you go.
Excellent. Alright. Gives me a little more to do. Go in here. Pop that that up. All right, so it looks like we have TK going and taking advantage of the library hints. I am generally not one for hints for no other reason than 80% of the time I have ever touched them, they are useless. But that said, he is correct. That is something that you can take advantage of when you have nothing else. I'm not sure if he's checked the boots tree as of yet. Doot. Got more shards coming. But that is the one check he was able to do versus my powder, which I was able to obviously do a lot more.
So it looked like, Fizzle, you have fights here in the Hall of Dragons, but they aren't dragons, so I'm assuming you have shuffled enemy packs as well?
I have randomized enemy packs.
Oh, did you do the base level Randomizer?
I don't have any different formations or anything like that. I just have, instead of all the encounter tables being shuffled together, they're all randomized.
Okay. Admiral slowly making his way
Merit
down
and
to
me.
what is Northwest Castle and finding the sea, what I call sea greed. It's the one with the 2 quick chests you can grab along the path and maybe find the stairs before like everything goes to hell. Oh, we have
So I got-
Toasty Remix playing some Link's Awakening music, which is just appropriate. Yes, Maddie.
Oh, I just notably there were 2 good hints. Everything else was horrible. The 2 good hints. An Ocarina is at Angler's Tunnel, which is a dungeon I have a nightmare key for, so I will likely be doing in the 6 I need to complete for my seed requirements. And then Bo is in Eagle's Tower, a very easy dungeon to full clear. So, lots of good stuff. Ooh, and a Bottle Grotto key for TK Ninja. That is... He can't use it now, but he will likely need that later. Of note, for full clearing every dungeon with glitches, Bottle Grotto is the only one that you actively require every key. Because you need all of them to do everything in that dungeon. Every other dungeon, if you watch me closely, I will show you how to cheat every last one of them to need the minimum number of keys possible. Cool. That's it. Don't need more powder. I see TK is listening to my advice in order to at least just check what the store item is, even though he can't currently get it either.
So Fizzle is currently struggling with a bunch of monsters that he definitely does not want to have to fight that keep popping up. The water nagas with water pack, which would have been delicious experience, definitely fought back hard. Harder than I think you would have liked to have seen. And Admiral has found...
TK is...
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, TK, interestingly, we are stuck in the same position, but if I had boots, I could do more with this glitch I'm attempting to do. Because, fun fact, you need boots for the second check in here, or feather. Because feather... the moment either of us have it, I will be cheating horribly. I don't know about TK. I haven't watched his footage intensely yet.
Meanwhile,
That's it. Go on for the fight.
Sure, no problem. Admiral Tryhard found the Volcano Armory floor. Didn't really go exploring it, but probably will later. Lots of good chests on there, and that floor specifically is very chest dense, so with the random confettiing of items that AP will do, that's a good one to go back to once you have the levels and resources to tackle it.
It's funfetti, thank you.
And it looks like Fizzle has all weapons cast magic. Because there was a lot of random swords in there with magic on. I saw the lamp sword. I don't think he bought it. But for the memes.
Too broke
the
for
memes.
memes.
Don't let your memes be dreams.
Ooh,
Oh, come on, I
Chain
sent you like $200.
Chain plus 5 over on Admiral Tryhard's side. Chain is decent mid-game armor. The plus 5 on it, though, potentially makes it end-game for that red mage he has there. The black belt, of course, will just get levels and will be end-game all on his own.
I have chaos classes.
Oh. Well, that doesn't help me at all. Not in the slightest. Meanwhile, Fizzle, I noticed, also has a black belt. Considering the scaling of those enemies that he's fighting, eventually that black belt's going to come in handy.
The black belt was not exactly by choice. In my 8-person draft, I had 4 of them.
The game was like, no, you take a black belt. It's funny.
All right. Because say, while I have time, and seemingly the Final Fantasy players are not doing much else, I will teach the clip here. Because this is the worst clip to do. You generally want hookshot for it, or anything that helps you get through. But what you want to do is you need to line yourself up with how this block will activate its text. Because if you touch it, you've already killed the trick. And for the other one, you need to be here. So with my sprite set, you can notice the left ear, there's the green pixel next to it. And then when I'm pushing against the wall, there's the extra dark pixel there. So that's about where I need to be to get this clip to work. And then it is basically pixel dependent, frame perfect. It's a trick you don't want to have to do, but if you have time and nothing better to do, it's worth trying. So we've got it there, and I've missed because my subpixel was wrong. As you do. Hot misses.
Looks like we found the vampire, and Fizzle is found a bunch of vampires. That is a really cruel floor right there. That's supposed to be Marsh Cave?
The people have just demonstrated I have pulled off the Brock clip. I am now on the other side because of the nag message. The nag messages will always push you, I believe it's 1 pixel to the left and 1 in the direction you're trying to go, or basically 1 pixel in whatever direction you're trying to go, assuming you're against a wall. So basically I've gotten in here without bracelet. It's an annoying trick, and the next part is even worse because of my lack of stuff.
So that Marsh Cave is fighting back hard. Vampire packs and Gator Hydra packs. And Fizzle's trying again. This... I mean, I know you need levels. This feels real rough. Okay. Got canoe marked off already. Good. Crescent leads to C short. Over on Admiral side. And that leads into a Hall of Dragons, which presumably is safe for him to walk through, because he's not quite the masochist that Fizzle is.
Speaking of masochism, people will witness me performing a Hell Logic trick, which is my least favorite thing to do ever. But what we are attempting to do is get into a position when you are pushing against the wall, the mimics don't move as much. So you can use that to sort of guide them to where you want them to be. So in this case, I'm pushing against the one wall, and I'm trying to go down at the full bit. So I need to slide up, and then go down. Slide up, go down, slide up, go down, slide up, go down. And you can manipulate them with nothing else. This is a lot easier with bracelet because you can just hold on to the wall and get them to go wherever you want them to. I was gonna say, somebody got a canoe.
Yeah, Admiral has a canoe. I was just noticing that. Fizzle's still struggling here in this nasty, nasty marsh cave.
Well, there is my Angler's Tunnel key, so people are going to be surprised, but that is literally all I need to beat Angler's Tunnel.
Yeah, the number of
One
tricks
key
you
and a
guys
nightmare
have,
key.
it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So many tricks.
So many tricks.
Gonna say, I surprised you in our first run together, where I finished within 5 minutes of you, despite a horrible, horrible crash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the interesting thing. Like, FFR is actually it's played fairly straightly in comparison to what you guys do to LADXR.
It had a family. There's a red tunic. It doesn't help me much. A heart container does. That is almost enough to survive a hit from these guys if I make a mistake.
Oh, yeah. And Fizzle, of course, has to check every room because he has relocate stairs and relocate chests. So he has no clue where anything is in this game. stuck fighting water enemies with Quake. That's the worst.
I'm starting to feel like I could have been on commentary, honestly.
I mean, feel free to join us if you're doing nothing else.
Yeah, feel free.
No, you guys
You
are doing a good enough job.
You can pull up the live and see what I'm up to.
See, I'm sitting back eating some popcorn, like,
As you should. Popcorn's delicious.
Oh,
It just ran out.
Tryhard showing off that they have the they started with the Thor hammer plus or -5 or 3 or something, but the Thor hammer casting lightning too is very useful in this particular context. Nice little bit of AoE to help him along. Fizzle with the Ruse hammer actually managing to survive some of this from the vampires. And with everyone else in this party dead, may as well just kill vampires for a bunch of experience. Or they can crit. Sorry, Fizzle, I didn't mean to curse you there.
Yes, you did. Ah!
Well,
Alright.
technically, I'm watching this 30 seconds
Thank
behind
you.
what happened, so really, he cursed himself.
Ah. And now we do it all over again.
This seems obnoxious.
Well, what I'm doing?
Yeah.
It is hell logic for a reason.
True.
Remember, and the trick to get in here was also hell logic. Nope. Dang it.
Are you actually playing on Hell Logic flags, or just doing these
No.
because you can?
When you have nothing better to do,
That's true.
if I'm stuck in BK mode, it's one of those might as wells. That said, you know, generally try to get some nice flags for your LADX players to give them bracelet early. I'm still learning how to do it. There it is.
Well, that's been
Yeah,
a point
mimic
of-
manipulation with nothing else is not fun.
That's been a point that we've been discussing, is for like these AP games long term, maybe try to figure out a way to give LADXR like a starting bracelet or something, just that progression can happen a little quicker.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it helps, but it doesn't. Bracelet is necessary to get out of Mabe. I generally, when not playing on Archipelago settings, because there is just more stuff available, when playing on the normal randomizer, I do tend to like a random start location, at which point then starting with Bracelet could be borderline a just straight up hard lock. You can't get out of where you are. That said, Bracelet lets you out of Mabe to do more stuff, but doesn't it doesn't win you the game, so to speak. It basically means you can lift, but you can't fight anything, and because you can't fight anything, you're in a position where you work and don't work, so to speak. I have made a horrible error. Can I get away with it? Nope, I can't. But yes, if you ever want to learn the helliest of hell logic tricks for LADX, I recommend Dragon CO. He is the main racer that beats me in the monthlies. And he is actually the one who writes logic for the game. It's quite fun. I have played many a stream with him, and he is always a good time. Very helpful. The idea...
Fizzlebeef nearly got caught there with a full trance party for the zombie beast, but thankfully his black belt stood up, resisted the next one, and was able to escape that fight by killing the zombies and getting some experience in the process. Lovely. And Admiral meanwhile is exploring a sea floor after exploring the sky spider floor, just slowly making progress through this volcano.
And we at LADX are enjoying village life. Thinking of starting a farm, you know? Maybe grow some turnips.
Does sadly look like TK Ninja is just kind of waiting.
Yeah, he could be doing what I'm doing, and would get more out of this. He would get 2 checks instead of just the 1 I can get.
Hmm.
But it does require doing all of this, and it is no better just having boots. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure he knows the trick to get into where I am right now. Not sure if he's done a itemless Brock clip before. Or if he knows the pixel alignments for the Richard skin. Plus, he'd have to, do this.
Yeah,
which
no one wants
I
that.
wouldn't recommend for my worst enemy.
No. This looks pretty awful.
It is quite awful. Again, it's taking advantage of the fact that while you're pushing, the mimics will follow you slightly less, so you can still manipulate them. Oh, Ninja has nag off. Oh, so he can't even do this trick because the nag is off. And this is why kids always put nag messages on. I know it makes the game like 5% faster, but being able to actually do something in BK mode and do 2 or 3 different skips, including skipping a key in D3, always worth it. Because there's it's not this bad in other places.
I was just gonna note, this is just one awful dungeon that Fizzle is trapped in here.
Oh dear.
Oh,
There is.
It's pretty foul.
Please send weapons with damage spells on them.
At least
Please send
something.
weapons. That was good time.
Oh crap. Our timer didn't get started. Hold on, I'm on it.
It's all good.
How?
I didn't start my timer either.
Anyone have a timer?
Not really a
going?
race.
5 minutes, 15 seconds.
5 minutes, 15 seconds?
25:20 is what we're at.
Thank you. 20. Close enough. There you go, running. There, now at least we have a timer of some time going. Looks like Admiral is down to a lawn gnome, a black belt, and a black mage right now, which, I don't know, depending upon...
I missed TK getting that good old bracelet. Fizzle found it for him. So he's having a much better time than I am. Matter of fact, he's going to do what I'm doing, but with the bracelet tricks. Because you can do exactly what I'm doing by holding a wall and just inputting your directions, instead of this nonsense.
The slow nonsense you're doing, yeah.
But sometimes you gotta do that slow nonsense. If I had one more heart, I could tank this.
Made it look easy, look at that.
Yep. The bracelet makes it so much better.
And the feather just came in from Fizzle
Oh.
over on Ninja's side. There we go.
Yep. Feather for TK. That makes that even nicer.
It's like he's practically playing a normal game.
Okay. There we go. I have made it. Okay, so this one is the worst. Yep. TK pampered, yep. Ah. So yeah, everything to go. TK's pretty much in go mode. At least if TK was me.
Yeah, with the sword. Oh, is there a sword? No, you don't have a sword yet. Do they? That's seashell.
That is true. There are a number of enemies that are sword locked, so.
Don't you need a sword to kill the end boss?
2 of his forms require sword. No, 1 of his forms requires sword, I think we found out recently. Someone actually found out another one of his forms doesn't require it, but the form before it requires sword, so there's no reason to not have sword equipped to do what you need to do with it.
Yeah. Sword, some sword plus 6 for Admiral.
No, it
That's
is
a
2.
lovely
No,
one.
it is 2 forms. It's 2 forms. The first form and the Ganon form both require sword to do damage. Unless you're playing with good old good boy mode.
I swear, Fizzle, you just have the worst enemy luck here. Oh look, a pack I can kill. Oh look, they just immediately Maza'd or killed my Maza wielding black belt.
Don't question the Masa wielding black belt. He's new to the job.
I'm not questioning it. The enemies are just like out purposely targeting him, even though he's sitting in the back row.
I was gonna say my first attempt of FFR is still on my channel, with the fish that are on the way to Volcano being the first thing I have to deal with, and they all have Bane.
Yep, that's par for the course there.
Well, as long as I didn't have to do anything special.
Keep bucking for Fizzle to get this fight, and the fight doesn't want to let him have it.
I was gonna say, there are questions about our soundtrack. Dark Moon, do you want to give him an answer?
Oh yes, we're listening to the Overclock Remix Rainwave channel. It's just a nice channel of Overclock Remix tunes. That we're just gonna cruise with it because it's pretty and it works and it's all open for us to use without any having to worry about copyright. So, plus some of the players had unsafe audio on their channels, so this just seemed like the best compromise. One day Fizzle will get through this dungeon.
One day.
I have 3 rooms left on Marsh Bottom, and I'm pretty sure one of them has my boat.
Then you'd be on a boat.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll have my bracelet and I'll have your boat. Nope, didn't get him enough. This is bad. I think. Maybe I can get away with it. Oh, haha! Alright. Well,
Oh man.
I have many a trade item.
Are those
I'll
buff
be doing-
pirates, Admiral?
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem pretty buff. They provided no mercy right there. Oh, and a black belt I can cast nuke. Oh my god, they stood up to a nuke. Oh. Oh. Okay, maybe, no, maybe, no. Oh, ouch. That was bad luck right there. That's what that was.
What shield? That
Does something?
doesn't add any new checks for me. It might make what I'm doing slightly easier. The shield is notoriously called the piece of wood by me, because it is about as useful. That said, I can do this with it and at least knock one of those guys away from me, so I'm liable to not die while I'm doing this.
Admiral gets through his pirate fight with just the black belt, but level 14 for the black belt now. One day he will be a big boy. One day he'll be a real boy.
Got it.
That black belt has 1% hit growth. He's not a fighter.
One day he'll be a slightly okay boy.
Alright. What was all this worth? There you go. 1 heart piece for myself. And the only way out of here is to return home. So. But yes, this shield. Shield has like 3 functions in LADX. It is really useless. If you get it as your first item, bunch of gold, it looks like.
I saw a message about try hard, but PK Ninja menus fast, so.
Yep. Matter of fact, I can show a fast menuing trick, but not great. Yeah, shield can push these guys around, which, you know, when you have powder, you don't care.
Yeah.
Shield can help you do certain things. If you are in D3, which I can't demonstrate, I'm not in D3, the bomb enemies with the countdown that are in the one room can be triggered with the shield just by bumping into them. Same with 3 of a kinds. So if you are lacking for something to do that with, shield is a viable option. And then level 2 shield can deflect the flames going towards D8. But there are like 400 tricks to do that to never need the level 2 shield. So it is just a piece of wood. Confirm.
Yeah, your bad magic start, Fizzles, really just hampered your ability to progress through this.
The good news is that when save on game over, I am making progress. This is very slow, but I am making progress towards a level where this black belt can just do things. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if he gets up to the point where he can actually punch stuff, then the Mazda can go to someone else and you might be able to make faster progress.
Right. I'm at like 4 or 5 more levels before I hit that point.
Do you remember what his blessings were as far as like his hit growth or whatever?
I didn't.
Nothing for hit growth, I think.
Okay.
I think I made the point to just sit back and enjoy the show.
There we go. That's all you can do, sadly.
Yep. Some days I'm gonna hang out with my favorite witch syrup. So we have Admiral navigating the waterways. TNT, herb, and tail. Interesting combination. Really waiting on a boat for both of them, aren't we?
Yeah, at least the canoe lets try hard progress some. But as Fizzleleaf said, more than likely the boat is here in March because it's what his progression is lacking. And it would be the next thing for him to get, just following standard progression.
And also in AP, the ship is hard-coded to be local.
Probably a good idea. The bit, as we've discussed with Bracelet being local for LADX, is it is a progressive item. There are 2 of them. So in order to manage that, you would need to have both of them be progressive, or both of them local to your seed. Level 2 Bracelet is a interesting thing. It's not super useful. It exists, more or less. It's used in D6, where it is first gotten. It can push the statue for the rooster, but it is a hard required item if you are going to beat D6. So having it local is fine. It just means that if you're doing an 8 instrument seed, like most people tend to, they don't tend to adjust it too much. Yeah, they don't have to adjust it too much. So it can be an item that you very much need, that you now suddenly need to clear your seed for to beat 1 dungeon, because it doesn't do anything else. There's also a rando-specific change that was made and kept in Archipelago, where they made it as an additional or optional requirement for getting into the Bird Key Rooster Cave. Instead of requiring Rooster, you can lift a level 2 rock, which actually has an interesting story behind the reason why that is a thing.
Why is that?
So when Rando was first made, Rooster wasn't in it. So because there was now no longer a way to get that check, it either needed to be made into junk or an alternative was made. So there are 2 or 3 changes around the overworld that are just because of the Rooster not being around, and they've never been reverted now that the Rooster is actually available. So one of them is that they put a level 2 rock on the left passage to get into the Bird Key Cave, or to get to the Bird Key in Bird Key Cave. And we are seeing TK Ninja performing some super jumps here, which is oh so lovely. They are the everyman's trick if you buffer them. The other changes, though, from No Rooster are just in front of Canelet Castle. There is a section of pits which is normally 5 wide. That was changed to 3 wide, so you can technically accomplish it with Boots and Feather. And yeah, just interesting changes that happened from the Rooster not being originally implemented.
Got Fizzle once again having to deal with nasty sea snacks, which wiped is probably the last
Sea
time he had to face against them.
Gonna say they're looking like a rough time still.
They are not fun. They are not fun at all.
I just have one more room in here.
And it's this room. One day, Fizzle, one day. Meanwhile, Tryhard is here to do the Volcano Top or Volcano Armory 4 that we talked about before. So, plenty of chests here. Should find a few different AP things, I'm sure. Send things along to people to help them out.
Yes. Gonna say the shield is lovely, but I should put my name on it somewhere.
So you're on the move, Maddie. Did you get something, or
Nope, I'm just wandering.
got bored hanging out with the witch?
Yeah, she's great, but the music was getting to me. Oh, Rooster, that's
something.
it's something. I'm not sure how much it accomplishes, but it is something. And I will always take something. So I can't do anything on the beach with it, because I can't get to the section I would need it. But I should be able to get 2 checks.
I'm sure there's some flying
Okay.
rooster quip you could do,
Or I'll just get Bracelet, that's fine.
or that.
Yeah, I will just get Bracelet, and life will be good.
And now you're off and running.
And a sword. Alright. Bracelet and sword.
See, and all this was sitting.
He's trying
in,
to...
Yeah, all this was sitting in
He's trying too
Tryhard's
hard.
armory. Yeah.
Yep. Alright. So, bracelet routing is an interesting thing, and I'll talk about it more when I'm doing... Because FFR has requested a demo for me to do for LADX. Bracelet routing is an interesting beast because... Uh-oh. What happened? That was funny.
Hi, Kraken.
Oh. I'm not sure you
I
have
have
the
this
ability
funny
to do this,
spell
right now.
called Brack.
Oh, hey, you might have the ability. Are you doing
Kraken the Kraken.
Yeah, Bracken the Kraken. Are you doing orbs or shards?
Shards.
Okay.
Because I have sea
32.
shards.
Alright. Usually an AP will do shards. I just want to make sure.
I was gonna say, I can't wait till we can also do seashells. Because that'll be fun. Just find 70 items. Yes, this rooster does allow me to get up here in Wright's house. But yes, back to talking about bracelet routing. Each runner has their own kind of way, because generally when you're playing normal LADX, or not normal LADX, but randomizer without Archipelago, bracelet is always going to be one of your earlier items if you're not randomizing your start location, like I mentioned earlier. So I am one who I generally like to go up through the swamp. That said, I did forget something while I was here, because I realized I could get it. Others will generally go right to the other part of the world and get everything they can. I prefer what I refer to as a sweeping method. So get everything you can in the areas that are close to your start, and then work from there. But that is a personal routing choice. As said, most of the other routers I know will generally, they got bracelet, we're going out into the world. Get our friends out.
Oh, Barbarissa here too. She did not look like she played fair.
I do not play fair.
Nice alt beams there that he had to deal with at the Kraken spot. Would still technically be weak to Brack, mind you, because the spot carries its weaknesses to the enemy, as well as the natural enemies that enemy weaknesses that they would gain. So Brack against Barbarissa would work in that context.
I didn't actually know that. I just kind of went, oh crap.
No, yeah, Brack will work there. Should work there because they didn't adjust the enemy weaknesses to take into account the spots, so the spot weaknesses carry over.
Man, I don't even know what the percentage chance of that, of getting the acorn instead of the fairy against boss modeling. That is a rare sight.
Was that bad?
I mean, acorn is terrible, but no, not really. It's a very rare thing. Fairy is full health when you pick it up, which is generally what you want. Acorn is if you've killed X number of enemies without taking damage, I think it is. You can get an acorn, which will increase your defense. That said, it versus the piece of power, you always want the piece of power. So acorn is just kind of labeled as bad, because if you have it, you can't get the piece of power.
Pizza power!
Yeah, pizza power. It's the good time.
You can't help it. The TMNT ruined it. You can't help but say that.
Yeah.
That is very bad news for me.
What?
Haste, or fast is level 8.
Oh, well, at least you have
Oh
a Black
my.
Mage. Oh wait, unless your Black Mage... No, your Black Mage is screwed up, isn't he? You can't necessarily learn that.
He's red wizard, max.
Oh. And your Black Belt gets what? Is Black Belt on Ninja Magic?
My black belt is the red wizard.
Oh. What the heck do your other wizards even have then? Anything?
They have fade. They have
Oh.
white magic.
They have a dream.
Wow.
I've got fade and ruse.
That sounds like a mess. But hey, it wouldn't be a proper mess, or it wouldn't be Archipelago without some hot messes. There we go. I hope that's real medicine, because I kind of want some real medicine. Nope. Have some Zols, TK. Alright.
So did you find your ship, Fizzle?
No, which means, despite what the map indicated, I had to have access to another entrance, and I think I just found it.
Good, okay. Where was that entrance 45 minutes ago, right?
Well, settle down, it's Ice Cave.
Oh, oh no.
Oh, hello. So that is TK's Flippers, as the only check I can currently do in D7. Which is basically the item that says, the world's open now. Have fun. In fact, with the collection of items he seems to have, I don't think there should be anything that he can't do in terms of like general overworld stuff. So he'd just be waiting on keys. Ooh.
I know where Volcano is, I need a canoe to get there.
There we go. I just got my hands on a bow. It is another interesting choice. It unlocks one check that I am nowhere near.
Alright, so I don't know a thing about LADX. What is Tuzal Stalfos Ledge Chest?
Uzol Stalfos Ledge Chest? That would be
Is that
a ledge chest.
TK Ninja has my canal there.
Yeah. Stalfos Ledge Chest, 2 Zols would be... It's a ledge... I don't know which chest that specifically is. Does it say where it is?
Key Cavern.
Key Cavern? 2 Zol Stalfos. Yes, it is the left side of Key Cavern, and a room there. Yeah, that's about the best description I can give for it. It's a very small single check, and that requires having at least one D3 key and being able to get into D3. So he should have what he needs for it, assuming he... Depends on if his dungeons are shuffled or not. Have a Masamune, though. That's, you needed that, right?
Well, not both our players have a Masamune, that's nice.
Suddenly, my red mage comes to life. S tier strength, 4% hit growth, and Masa, +9.
Nah. Oh my.
+9, ridiculous.
I have found the most powerful Masa ever. The stick is big. The chat's got it right. Now we're giving it the last check that we can get in here. I might have all the keys I need, but I do not currently have a method of getting off the ground in a dungeon. Oh yay, face shrine keys. Another dungeon where I need one key, and it's not the ones I have. Alright.
Tryhard still exploring through this dungeon. Yeah, we still get experience off of these things he's fighting. It's not bad.
Experience never hurts.
Never hurts.
It's one thing to take advantage of if you're ever playing the FFR side of an FFR and LADX. You will probably have time to grind.
Mm-hmm.
Take the time.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. When we did our one-on-one or one, not one-on-one, but 2-player APs at one time, I sat for like 30 minutes and just grinded on some decent enemies, waiting for my final item to come in. And then at that point, it was just like go wander the final dungeon and finish it in 5 minutes. It was funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ooh, shovel. Okay. Another opportunity for me to talk about very specific checks.
Okay, go for it.
So, Shovel has 6 checks in the game. They are all in the overworld. I also get, speaking of bridges. But they require a myriad of other things. I think 3 of them are available with nothing, but then the last 3 all require either combinations of glitches or specific items. So I will, matter of fact, because I am halfway there anyway, we're going to get that check, and then I'm going to return home. We'll do all the shovel checks in order, or as I like to do them, because returning home is the easy way of getting them all in one good swoop. So you got first here in the doghouse. It's the easy one. And look at that. Fizzle's rich now. You can go buy all those expensive swords.
Might actually help him.
All my vendor weapons were bad. I already checked.
Fizzle, find better vendor weapons.
I would love to.
You'd love anything to go your way for once in this.
So your second shovel check does require bracelets. Like I said, it's combinations of items. You also need to go through forest if you don't have a way to get over a hole. But I generally like to do this one second. It's very nice. Grab a more stuff for Fizzle.
Did you buy a new ship yet?
Wasn't there either, but I have a bridge, so theoretically it's over there.
Just a quick interruption from Maddie. I have 2 keys for D8,
Yep.
and I believe I'm in go mode as long as I find my nightmare key, which they're all in my own dungeons.
Okay. So I will let the tracker know.
Just click everything. They're done.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, as soon as I find Feather, I can click this D7. I don't need any keys.
Yeah.
Same for me on that one.
Well then, there we go. D7 requires no keys. You're about to see TK take advantage of that.
I'm nowhere near a D7, but yeah, I could try and do that.
I mean, the benefits
say.
the benefits of AP with you guys being at or near go mode is, as soon as you guys can actually finish dungeons, if you go and clear the game, all the items you have waiting for our FFR players will just confetti on top of them, and progression may just suddenly happen.
Yep. And vice versa if they manage to get our stuff.
Yep.
So the check I just got with the shovel check is a 50-50 which one you want to do first, whether you do up there or down here. Depends on what you have else to do. If you want to go to the teleporter, go to top. But if you are like me and crazy and about to do a terrible skip...
Wow, Barbarissa at Kraken Spot just wailed on Admiral Tryhard's black belt for nearly 1,200 damage.
Ooh.
He died a lot. I'm assuming Tryhard is going and trying to kill Barbarissa because there's nothing else they can do right now.
You would be correct.
Lovely.
Don't worry, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
So, Pit Maze with just Rooster is not a fun time, but we can do it. And here is our shovel check number 4.
Oh, do you have a save of game overturned on Admiral?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
We should make it default. I mean,
I mean, not for normal FFR play, but in AP it does feel like it's something that might want to be on by default. But Fizzle finds a pack of water nagas and waters, and it's just like, no.
as you do.
Well, this particular instance, they're also unrunnable and hit like trucks. His party can't handle
Oh
them.
man, Fizzle's extra rich. Hope you enjoy that nest egg, Fizzle. I stole it from a dude. All he wanted was for me to go find his leaves, and I said, nay, we don't do that in this house.
Wow, that was
I actually have volcano access now.
that was a chunk of money. Look at that. Oh, you got your
Yep.
canoe?
Turned out I needed bridge instead.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, hey. What is a bridge if not a stationary canoe?
What is a canoe if not a moving bridge?
There's a joke in there somewhere. We'll figure it out.
I'm sure it connects.
Yeah.
Technically, it could be a pontoon. And form
Can you
part
figure
of
it
a
out?
bridge.
Yes, a pontoon. That is good. That is technically both. That's very nice.
Bombs. Excellent. I was about to need those for Shovel Check 5. And I was about to say, you need them for Shovel Check 5, but, when you have them. So that will be all of our shovel checks, and shovel will be legally a useless item, but it does technically have an additional function that I might show off, because, we do fun things in this house.
So I will say this confuses me. I've seen bombs around on the world, I guess little floaty ones or whatever, but you're not allowed to collect those until you have bombs or something.
Yes. So in the original, I'm trying to think of which patch would still have it. It would be 0.8 of the randomizer for LADX releases.
Mm-hmm.
Still had it that you could just either buy bombs or get them from floating areas,
Okay.
same as you could powder. The problem with that was essentially it trivialized a lot of stuff because bombs are the second most broken item in the game next to the feather.
Okay.
So it was removed to make it you could only purchase bombs after you had found some initially.
Okay.
And there are still ways to get around that in different versions of the of the LADX randomizer. So its local multi-world option. There is what's known as the BK shop that does have bombs available, and those will break your bomb logic if you really want to.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, they did change it to hard require you found bombs first, because most seeds were, I got 10 rupees, let's go get bombs.
Ah, okay. Now you'll see over here that Fizzle is in his relocated chest armory, which is obnoxious as hell to actually navigate. I hate navigating this floor with the relocated chests just scattered everywhere. But you'll also notice that both the Zelda players have been getting items from Fizzle regularly because there's a ton of chests in there.
Yes. For those who aren't familiar with LADX, it was the Zelda game that introduced combo weapons. It had bomb arrows long before Breath of the Wild existed. Have a ribbon, try hard.
Those of us that want to be monsters can call it Z4. Technically, it is. Back when the Zelda continuity was only slightly confused, and people weren't sure whether or not this was a direct sequel to Link to the Past or not.
Yeah. I was gonna say it became even more confusing with the release of Ages and Seasons
Yes.
after it, because there's interesting parts of the story there where at the end of Ages and Seasons, if you do both games, you do leave whichever one you finished on a boat, which would imply you're going to end up getting to LADX.
Mm-hmm.
And why, your sword has your name on it.
The Zelda continuity is so weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I believe that when they released the third book about it, they were just like, the timeline doesn't matter.
Well, from the very beginning, they were saying the timeline doesn't matter. Technically, all the games happen over top of each other for the most part, and they only got more detailed about it as time went on. And people are like, but we want to know the timeline.
Are you trying to comprehend a continuity that is actually more messed up than Final Fantasies?
At least
gonna say
with Final Fantasy, there's no continuity on purpose.
No.
Yeah.
Each one takes place on its own world, except for some that don't.
If you want a messed up continuity, look at Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a movie called Primer, where people have tried to analyze the timeline. It just basically becomes this giant pile of squiggles on a page. That's how I envision the Kingdom Hearts continuity. It's just a big bunch of squiggles, and you just really can't understand it because only one person, the person who created the series, can understand it, and I don't even think they actually have all the notes.
So interesting part for Kingdom Hearts development stuff, because it's a random fun fact I know as a prior fan of the series. I haven't played 3 yet, but the game has been developed by I think 3 or 4 different studios, which is half of the problem with its thing. And it depends on which game you're playing, which studio it was made of. I think the 1, 2, and 3 are all actually made Square Enix normally, but a bunch of them were shunted over to Disney Interactive, including ones like Dream Drop Distance was I think the first one I noticed it on.
Yeah.
So as a result, there's all sorts of weird bits added to the story to make things work that they wanted to do without any sort of legitimate connection or just basically try to make it work and hope for the best. Was a lot of Kingdom Hearts development stuff.
Okay.
Also unhelped is Disney's specific requirements of Kingdom Hearts for a lot of stuff.
I'm sure. I will be right back.
Yep, you take your time. Meanwhile, I'll continue telling the Kingdom Hearts story. So, the major one that many people will know, because it was at least talked about a lot, was in Kingdom Hearts 3, the frozen world is terrible. You just climb a hill and fight a guy over again. And can I get a paragraph explanation on Archipelago and the software required to run it? To say they have a website. It would mostly be there.
So in essence, Archipelago is its own independent software randomizer program that you download and install, but it is largely self-sufficient. FFR is kind of the anomaly here. Most randomizers are implemented through Archipelago, and you basically just randomize it through that. And then all you have to do is run a client on the side, along with your emulator of choice that handles Lua scripting, and you can Archipelago.
Yes. That's as good of an explanation as possible. It's another reason why I mentioned a couple of times the raw randomizer for LADX versus the Archipelago one. And that is just because there are differences. Like, for example, I'm currently using the Maddie sprite, which is not currently available in its current iteration on Archipelago due to reasons. I didn't get to decide those reasons. So there's an aspect of it where, in order to run LADX as I do through Archipelago, you do have to get the local generation ability, which involves a minor install of... I don't remember, I think it's just the Archipelago package, but it will tell you, like, do you want to download the stuff for certain games? So right now I have the ability to randomize all the ones that are built in, because they're generally PC games. And then LADX, Link to the Past, and Final Fantasy. And those are all that I can do with it on the local level.
I saw Tryhard found some rock galls, and I was about to be like, oh, that's a great fight, and then they zapped out this entire party, and that was not a great fight.
Yeah, that sounds like a not great fight.
No.
Alright. Couple checks accomplished. Let's go do bomb stuff. And everyone's favorite Boots and Bombs cave. Ooh. Room, and I finally see that floater happening.
Oh! I can do stuff.
Because I've missed, TK, you want to just give me your inventory real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I've missed many a message trying to actually do stuff.
Right now I have powder, bombs, I have a feather, bracelet, boots, flippers, I have bow, 8 shells, the magnifying lens, and I have a few keys for some dungeons.
Okay. There we go. Just updating the tracker, because that is still my job.
I try to get it when I can, but
Yeah. I get to notice it from the Archipelago script,
Yeah.
which is the interesting part. I get, or as someone actually playing in it, there is a client-side script that you run, so you can see when anyone gets anything. That's why I've noticed a lot of, like, when somebody gets something, I can make a note, like, you know, the crazy amount of money for Fizzle. But some things do require attention, so I do miss every now and again. That's the first shard I found for anybody.
I'm also go mode on D1 as soon as I have a sword.
Excellent. Yeah. Because I think that's probably my #1 missed feature in terms of what's on Archipelago and what's not, and that is randomized bosses and mini-bosses. Because I like me a little bit of chaos in my day. And we shall now demonstrate the legendary butt unlock.
so yes, Admiral may be in BK mode right now, being stuck here waiting, but at least the levels they'll get will be good.
I was gonna say, he just picked up a floater, so that should be good.
That should be good. True, true.
It's not going to hurt that he's in a floor that has 10 chests to unlock, so items may be coming to everyone.
Hooray! It's Christmas. I'll take a
Although,
letter.
if it's nothing but disappointment, then it's Hanukkah. The presents for Hanukkah are
Ooh, and a
not
hook
great.
shot for TK.
Merry Christmas.
That was 5 API, 6, 7 AP items so far. 8, 9. You got the full set. 10 AP items.
Hey. I mean, more than could have been for me, you know. Man, I'm missing Feather right now. That said, I have legally said it is the one thing you should not hint for because it's very broken. there's an acorn.
Hmm.
Oh, wait. Ooh, hinting for the slime key.
Oh yeah, your item
That was a
magic
little
is
bit of
just
a lull.
crap, Fizzle. And the Temper Sword's nice, but not useful right now. But
Yeah, I need solutions for now, though.
yeah,
Sun Sword wasn't any good. Oh.
well the problem is
It's,
every enemy he's facing.
-4 and cast mute.
Yeah, every enemy he's facing punches him down before he can do much of anything with his weapons.
Oof. That is not a fun time.
No, it's been slow progress over here for Fizzle.
Ten bombs. Ooh, looks like Fabian's, or not Fabian, TK is attempting to not bomb trigger that? I guess hookshot. Oh yeah, nuke it and then come back. I sometimes forget things apparently.
I have a lot of difficulty with that.
Oh,
particular
that
one.
is. All right, we're gonna go get that. I don't know if that's one of my rod or it's somebody's rod. Someone's getting a rod.
Dude, you're getting a rod.
Yeah. I will be not fighting the mini boss, much to my sadness, because I want to use him for a trick later that will save me a key. Ooh, the stick. And apparently I got dog food at some point.
Hmm. Fizzle facing off against a pack that actually doesn't want to punch him down for once, just some Gurrimps and werewolves. It's like the game finally decided to give you a small break.
There we go. TK's rod. That is a good offensive weapon. One of the best in the game, if not for a few weird quirks. Oh, yeah. Remember I was mentioning a piece of wood? Power
You got the
rod.
upgraded
And
wood?
my hook. Excellent. Hookshot's nice. Right. Alright. That is all of it. Finally get this key. And perform a fun little trick of saving and quitting. Man, the economy in Final Fantasy is just a bad time. Rupees are worth so much gold.
It's a weird exchange rate. It is.
Yeah. Alright, that said, I don't think Hookshot does much for me, actually. Weirdly enough. Compared to where I can get with what I already have.
Well, it's a floater for Fizzle as well. How's progression looking over on your end, Fizzle?
Things are looking up now.
Good.
Up is better than down.
I definitely did all of Volcano. Definitely,
Definitely.
100%, definitely.
Totally didn't skip
That
a
checks
room.
out.
We're just
no.
gonna leave it behind.
Yeah, no reason to go
team
anywhere
fight,
else.
no.
No.
It's fine. It wasn't my feather.
I mean, there might have been a box in there. I didn't look.
So hard to know. We'll assume it's Schrodinger's box.
It's empty until you open it.
And if it's one of the link
And-
chests, it's empty even after you open it. Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
the real variable is does it have the item you want? As soon as you don't check it, it has the item you want.
Yeah, exactly.
A town. Oh, it's the first town. We've already been here. That was a tease.
Now if I don't know what was a real tease with me catfishing that man.
Yeah. You know, I was always weird about that story in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as a trans person on the internet, I kind of get being very scared to show people your true self.
Yeah.
That said, I don't know what the deal is with the goat. I can't, affirm or deny. But I mean, she might just be scared that, he wouldn't like her if he knew she was a goat.
I think when you're communicating long distance for someone in this particular situation, figure out whether or not they're a furry. Like, just they'll know.
Yeah, they'll figure it out eventually.
First time
I was gonna say,
you're not
you
going
call
to
it-
see or know, so.
I was gonna say, you call it long distance, but, they live effectively 5 minutes run away.
Link makes that journey every day, no problem.
Yep. He uses the underground passage. There's also the hookshot offer, or just being able to fly. All three are viable.
And Fizzle is up in the air.
Fizzle is in the air.
Yay! I wish I could be off the ground.
Still don't have your feather?
Nope.
I mean, if we gave you your
Lovely.
feather, though, the whole game would be broken for you to be done 5 minutes from now.
Oh yeah, I would have been done 10 minutes ago with the feather.
Yeah.
I've already been in here.
Yeah, you did this cave once already.
Ooh, a red key for Fizzle. So that's Fizzle's key, correct? The
Yeah,
one
a key. That's
required
his key.
to...
The only one he needs, because we only have one in our game.
Yes.
Which must be so weird for Zelda players.
Yeah, I know, right?
I only need one? What? What?
I mean, that's more than I need for Eagle's Tower, so it's still weird to me. Eagle's Tower is a fun bit of going from my least favorite dungeon to my favorite dungeon over the course of learning to cheat. It is also currently the only dungeon I do not have any keys for, which is fitting because I don't need them.
Quick, everyone find all the keys for that dungeon.
All 4 of them.
It's a lot.
They will
It's
not get used.
So many.
Actually, if the one is found, I could complete the dungeon, even without feather. So I could do it with 1 key, without feather. I don't want to.
Fizzle finding out that there's hardly a place to land.
Of course.
Oh my
hey,
god,
Fabian.
yeah.
I didn't notice you arrive.
I've been lurking in chat.
I did notice that. I just didn't notice you pop into the broadcast room.
That is a...
I was embarrassed for having been asleep.
No, it's okay.
Ah.
It's not a big deal. That was a...
I mean, we did have to send you to the doghouse for a hot minute.
Quite literally, there's one in Zelda.
Yep.
Yeah.
The best place to be.
But yeah, if you look on the map,
Round
this is a
for
perfectly
Admiral.
circular island on Fizzle's side once he exits. It's pretty funny.
One more check in EV4. But I want to for D3. But I don't want to know
Fizzle circling the circular island. I've not seen a effectively a one-tile island in Final Fantasy before. That was pretty funny.
Hey, that's where I'm going to build my beach hut.
And the dead end here. And some chunky guards. Although it looks like Fizzle's armor situation has improved decently at this point, so that's helping.
Yes, I am playing and announcing. We were low on commentators and had some shenanigans, so I have to play, announce, and track and hope for the best. That said, thank you for noticing me. I feel validated.
Validation station.
And now we use bomb physics to launch a pineapple up a level to this friend.
That makes perfect sense.
It's gonna say, hey, if you've been playing Tears of the Kingdom lately, you can understand that very crafty explosions are the answer to most problems. Or long bridges.
Or handmade battle tanks.
Hey, don't question the handmade battle tank. I just got to start enjoying those. Ah. Yeah. Do it.
Can someone find Fizzle a canoe? He seems to need it to get anywhere at this point.
I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can. F's in the chat if you remember when Seinfeld was still good.
I was not a fan, so for me it never was.
That's fair. I just remember the one joke because it's really good.
The one that stuck with me, because I saw a couple episodes, was when Kramer took over like a mile or so of highway and like paints away half the lane markers so that everyone gets extra wide lanes for a section. And then Elaine's just driving down going, "It's so roomy." It's the only thing I remember from that series.
I just remember they're trying to exfiltrate the arcade machine to keep the high score or the blood-radiated car.
Basically playing Frogger with Frogger, yeah.
I was gonna say,
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I'm just stuck thinking about now that it's so roomy and just imagining the Final Fantasy crew. They get the ship after the canoe and they're like, "Oh my god, it's so roomy."
So roomy. It's not a bad sword right there, actually.
Frame
The
one trait.
confused sword. Yeah. Fizzle was checking out the stats on the confused sword. It actually wasn't bad. Like, it's confused, but the +6 sword, it does decent damage. I'd take one of those. There you go. Yeah. Didn't turn on all armor cast magic, so.
Level 7 fast. The pain.
Yeah, I thought it was actually level 8, so that's actually an improvement. Level 7 Gaia.
You can actually learn that one, can't you?
I think I can. It's been a
Think so.
while.
I don't
Man
remember.
of all.
Gold bracelets +7. That's all armor for all people. Or Fizzle.
I don't tend to buy magic plus level 5 or past level 5 because I don't want a menu to it.
I mean, that'd be a good enough reason for me.
Yeah, no. I mean, we put the thing in place where you can actually menu upwards to get from level 1 to level 8 and keep going that way. So it's not that big of a menu, but at the same time, if it's not on the front screen, I don't want to spend the time wasting to buy it. So, and I gotta save all the frames I can.
I'm still at the skill level I need to read everything.
Yeah, that comes with time. Trust me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I notoriously, in my Chaos fight, was using my Red Mage to try to cast Harm, because I thought it worked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys only did that for White Mages.
Yeah, no, well, it's to make the White Mage actually useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's their spell. Technically, in the vanilla version of the game, the Red Mage can't even learn harm spells, so...
Aw. Sparts. Well, hopefully I never have to come back here. Of all the dungeons to be in the D7 location, 2 is the worst, because it, again, I think I mentioned at the beginning, Hard requires all keys to actually full clear it.
Fizzle getting the
So we're just
great
gonna-
sword. The great sword, great. Oh, and the old men are wandering. They're wandering.
Right.
There, Fizzle got his item. After talking to 7 of the 10 or whatever that are there. 7 of the 8.
You know, that sounds just like a cool, ominous foretelling. The 7 of the 8.
Or a Star Trek character.
Wasn't she 7 of 9?
She was, but
Of
still.
Unimatrix 01. Tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01.
It's exactly right. Someone has watched more Star Trek than I have. There you go.
Also
It
a
is a-
member of Unimatrix 0.
And me over here, like, I know Star Trek exists. I know a passing level of knowledge. Matter of fact, I probably know as much about Star Trek as I know about Final Fantasy 1, which is enough to finish.
That is an impressively broad amount of knowledge to have about Star Trek comparatively.
This is true.
There's a lot of Star
Most-
Trek to know.
There is.
Yes.
Most of that Star Trek knowledge, though, is the animated series from the 60s.
You have more Star Trek knowledge about that than I think most of us do, because that series was not good.
It was not,
It was
but
not.
I needed something to do and it was on Netflix. Why do you do half of the things in your life? It was something to do on Netflix. That's the only reason I know about triples. Also, one of the members of my Pathfinder table is a massive Star Trek fan. Whenever his wife calls, it plays the music that plays when Spock and Kirk had their like big duel
Yep.
fight.
Yep. Do, 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 do.
That's
Yeah, I
the
know.
one.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Famously referenced also in The Cable Guy.
Ah,
Yeah.
as you do when something gets that famously referenced.
Jim Carrey doing an unhinged performance of that song in that movie. Jim Carrey just unhinged in that movie, let's just be clear.
Jim Carrey just unhinged. Period.
True. Getting back on task here, try hard over in ordeals, trying to
Yeah.
get away with just his... We call it a red mage, because we don't have a better term for chaos classes, but sure, red mage.
Red Mage TM.
As Fizzle found his way through the Titan's tunnel onto the island, he couldn't land with the airship, so
Oh,
he's
nice.
there.
Nice.
Yay.
Found Matoya.
Without a crystal.
Plus side, that key might help me.
Oh, hey. He can turn into adamant while he's here, that's nice. Gotta hooray a lot. Yeah, remember to turn there you go, turn that adamant.
And with the key, has access
Yeah.
to potentially more boxes.
That is nice. I had to think about that for a second myself. Like, oh wait, that's right. And there's a shop here with yet more not good stuff, but he does find a +8, I'm assuming, a mute defense sword.
I'm not entirely sure what it was. The stats are comparable to the Confused sword, so I'm just going to keep that.
That's fair. I mean, it didn't have a symbol beside it, so that limits what it can be to only a couple different weapons.
Ah. I was gonna say I am massively out of logic, so if I find anything here, enjoy.
What is logic to LADXR, really? A mere
pipe dream?
suggestion.
Logic
Miserable
exists,
pile of
we're pretty sure.
suggestions.
There is the ruby for Admiral that I saw.
Yep, I did grab that.
Grab the ones when I can see them. Thankfully, your side of the game at least labels them.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is quite nice. Yes.
One Dark Elf down for Lord Fizzlebeat.
Yep, Astos is down. Looks a little buffed. He survived a nuke, no problem.
Couldn't survive the follow-up Moss's.
No.
Just
Not
little
just
stuff,
bad
it's fine.
rolls.
Oh, okay.
Remember, kids, put your boots on A. It lets you jump jump higher if you bonk.
But only on the A button?
Only on the A button.
Weird.
For a second, I thought you were just speaking as if you were Canadian, eh?
I am Canadian, eh? Wear the boots to do something really fun.
Yeah, okay, bud.
I'm not your bud, pal. Oh, darn it.
Man, that red wizard is just trucking through on his own. He's been soloing most of this dungeon. He just don't care.
He's a champion.
He's a champion. It's true. And waterfall. to
Skydiving
finish
into
up.
volcano into waterfall.
So wait, if he's a red mage and a champion, does that make him just red? He came here from Pokemon?
I don't play Pokemon, so I don't know.
Oh, red was the one of the default names for the starting character.
Oh, okay.
And then he becomes champion, and you go fight him in Gold and Silver.
I am very intentionally just having this red mage man mode.
Right. I was assuming you were just purposely getting levels. Do you have exit or something to get out of here?
No, but I have a ribbon on him, so
Well, I'm just like, this is a deep dungeon. You'll have to walk all the way back out.
No.
it's 3 floors.
Hi. Fizzle has
I
his
had minutes.
boat and is having to sail despite having the airship. That always feels bad.
Feels bad, man.
Do you
Not
have your
hinted for a thing. Change of plans.
Do you have your canoe yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Alright, we're hitting that lovely point in LADX where I need keys, and I don't have them.
Well, in this waterfall, Admiral might find one or more for you.
That would be lovely. Oh, well, hey, that's a very convenient key.
There you go. Look at that.
Unfortunately, it is also a terrible key to use with the stuff I have.
But not impossible.
Not impossible. If I had feathers or
dog-
flippers, it would be perfect.
That dog food hint is going to be delayed until after that progressive sword hint.
Three-game speedrun tournament. It is Archipelago. We are all in one giant
One
instance
big.
of nonsense.
Yep.
And this similar layout will probably be used for things in the future, so look forward to them.
Definitely for Zelda stuff. I have a feeling if we do a official tournament of any kind of FFR and Zelda, I will come up with a new bit of art just for that.
That would be swell. I'll come up with a bad name for it. Also, we have decided the consensus is in, and I should call the LADX players seagulls to go with the ducks. There's nothing like waterfowl.
I like it.
Yep. It was gonna be geese, but you know they did. The seagulls pun was just too good, especially with LADX.
Does that make your
Also, people will
platypus?
have-
Would that make your platypi then albatrosses?
I like it. They could also be pelicans, because that would be hilarious.
Pelican. Oh,
And pelicans are
good.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And they're terrifying. They'll just eat like a dog and just... They don't even stop.
There's also somehow finding Sea Shrine, where Sea Shrine should be sort of in some way.
French vanilla sea shrine.
Vanilla D3, is this even randomized? Alright. Worst screen of the game.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching this auto scroller go on.
No. See, that's the worst screen of the game right there. Those two guys. Because there are many tricks that you sometimes have to do on that screen that they make horrible. And I do not look forward to demonstrating them for a tutorial video. What are you doing? Well, I decided my love of my life significantly dropped in the last 10 minutes, and I guess I'm showing you how to do this horrible trick.
Dizzle busily exploring TFC floor of Sea Shrine at his French vanilla sea shrine.
As
French
Admiral
vanilla.
is in the archipelago, actual archipelago in this game, Final Fantasy 1, and finding Mirage 1.
Alright.
Cardia Isles.
Nothing, Admiral, really? Red Tunic made that fight weird. Oh hey, more hearts. Alright, I'll accept that, Admiral. Whoop. Money. Also, my apologies to anyone while I'm on comms. I do have a notorious habit of singing the Mabe tune whenever I'm there. Ooh, face key. Now I kind of wish I hadn't returned home. I'm gonna show off a trick. A terrible, terrible trick, considering the stuff I have. It's definitely one you'd prefer to do with Feather. But I can do it, and I want to show it off.
Dizzle
Maybe I
desperately
can
trying to
avoid
find any kind of treasure chest here in Mermaids, finding none.
But can you find the most important item on the floor?
My Feather.
A certain mermaid who must be carbonated.
He has my feather.
Right down backwards with flop stairs. No.
This message was brought to you by Bubble Soda Company.
Gonna say, I carbonated Bubbles on my run. Twice because I got lost.
Take this, Bubbles.
You see, the respawning characters is the side effect of the time warp that the world is trapped in.
I was gonna say, so one of them was Bubbles from 1,000 years in the future? Wait, in the past?
2000.
The many parallel instances of time, or the iterations of the time warp collide, and they just move into the reality in which you exist in. Every time you change floors, you're actually moving into a new merged section of that multiverse. You don't need to think about it.
Game behaves great when you don't have Feather. Just fall where you want to go, it's fine. Ouch. I'm mainly doing this because I'd rather have Feather to go into whatever D4 is. I don't want to climb the mountain again. D6? That's not bad, actually. I can get half the checks in here. gonna say I shall also demonstrate the best trick in the game. Especially because I don't have feather, so I have to do the best trick in the game. There is no other option. Best trick. Alright, here it comes. Oh. Dang it. Dang it.
Or not.
Brought this much trouble. Nah, it's fine. Here, it's coming up. It'll take a second. I'll let you know when I'm doing it, and I'll let you know what I'm doing, because it is the best trick. So here it comes sometime later. Dang. My own chat calling me out. Well, I know I got Boomerang for TK, but there it is. You can do that entire room by just holding up and left. Nothing else needed. It is the best trick in the game.
Just purely optimized inputs.
Yep. Just hold up and left.
So for those watching and they're curious what the character or players need for FFR, technically all they need is key, loot, and the shards to rebuild the black orb, and of course knowing where Topher is. Fizzle needs a bunch of shards and the loot, and Admiral needs both his key and his loot to be able to finish that. But I'm not sure, Admiral, have you found where Temple of Fiends is yet?
Nope.
So he also needs that.
I haven't checked in with TK for what TK needs either, or what if they've gotten anything new.
Just got a tail key, so
A tail
I can
key?
use that.
Alright, is that the only thing you've gotten since I asked you last?
Not quite, but it's the only thing that's made me progress any.
So no major items and no other stuff.
See, this is my favorite part of man moding, the morale breaking.
Yeah, it is nice.
And it's with a red mage of all characters. I approve.
I approve. I like his swagger.
This red mage is a better warrior than a knight.
Fill in this stuff. You're in D6. I'm assuming your dungeons aren't shuffled?
They are. That was the one from D1.
Oh. Well then, you don't get the face key. And here I was trying to be nice. I've also found 2 of my own sword and none of yours.
And now my red mage has defense sword, power bonk, bane sword. It's great.
I have keys in here, so we're going to do something that I don't normally do. This is another dungeon where you don't really need that many keys if you have feather. I don't currently have feather, which means I'm going to have to come back. And because I'm going to have to come back, it means if I don't want to wait for this room again, which, you know, we'll demonstrate shortly. I keep forgetting that there's a minor delay for me talking about stuff. Yeah, this room here with the spinning tiles. If I don't want to wait for that again, I do need to activate the mini-boss. But it does make any return trips much nicer. Ah. Oh man, Eagle's Tower Nightmare Key. Oh wait, and 1 key. I could go do that without feather.
Do you know where it is?
I do know where it is. It was one of the first dungeons I entered.
Nice.
And since I'm going to have to save and quit out of here anyway because I don't have feather, that is a perfect excuse. Let's go to Featherless D7, everyone's least favorite. The only thing worse, Featherless Bombless D7. That said, I wonder if TK knows the tricks for the Ravine feather tricks.
Not sure I know what you're talking about, so probably no.
They are the tricks required to do D6 with no keys. There's a little ravine in D6.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that one a little bit.
It is pixel perfect.
But you do have to have a level 2 bracelet anyway, and I don't yet.
Truth.
Evidently, Kraken was holding on to all the chests on her floor for Lord Fizzlebeef, and Admiral, meanwhile, has found the Bridge of Destiny and what would normally be Tia.
There's someone waiting at that bridge.
Yes, all in chat, please pray for our Lord and Savior. Robot Chicken. Or wait, did you mean it's a forced fight?
It is forced.
Ooh. There we go.
I'll just get defense sword off. This'll work just fine.
This is fine.
Trust
This is just fine. Yeah, no. Nothing to
me,
worry
TM.
about with the War Mech. It's fine.
Trust me, TM, it's fine. I got it handled.
Are we sure this isn't Kraken 2? What is the scaling you have?
Not scaling enough. He got through it.
He got slow through the ribbon.
That's rough.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
could be worse, you get
Care
stoned through the ribbon.
Oh,
Better to see it now before any damage has been done.
well, yeah, but I guess that's true.
Oh, great,
Oh.
it's puffing itself. Ice 2, Lit 2, Bane, Saber, Stop. What does this War Mech not have? Ice 3, yep.
At least you know Cure 4's out of the pool when it comes time for the Chaos fight.
And it fasted itself.
That's gonna be fun when it decides to actually fight you. Oh, okay. Or you
And
just
it has
completely
Saber.
fit-
The defense sword very much helping Admiral try
Mhm.
hard.
Never look a gift horse sword in the mouth.
Couple more hits and it should be down.
Unless you're a sword swallower.
Hmm.
If you
I
can
think
ever
even
hit.
then you probably wouldn't look a gift sword in the mouth, because if they're giving you swords to swallow, then might be a bad time. They might still mean ill of you. What if it's barbed?
Not that Admiral can get. Oh, never mind. There's a Cure 4.
Oh, can't do it.
Even if it's not hitting, those spells are chipping down. There's a faceted and triple sabered War Mech.
Dang, son. It's gonna hit like a tank.
Yeah, but so should this
Tank?
red mage.
So, wait, does that
Oh,
mean
and a
that-
nuclear behind all of this. This War Mech is the embodiment of what everyone worries War Mech could be.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yep, I need lock. I need lock.
Or to not get slowed too through the ribbon.
that would be helpful.
Maybe stop to force it to not be able to do anything at all.
That's a power word, isn't it? It wouldn't work against him.
This, I feel like I'm missing some context.
Power word spells are like in D&D, because most of Final Fantasy 1 is based on D&D. Your standard
Got it.
spell will have a functionality that can crit and do extra damage, or be resisted by the enemy as if they got their saving throw. In that same respect, there are power word spells in D&D that are based on your level, the enemy's level, the amount of health they have, that kind of thing. To translate that to FFR, I think there are certain spells that have like a lower threshold or a higher, but a lot of the power word spells are like, this enemy has 300 health or less, The spell just happens, no resist, no saving throw, on, off, dead or not dead, stopped or not stopped, that kind of thing.
That's like most of my
X is-
Pathfinder character. You either made the will save or I cried.
Yeah. So for Stop,
I
for
love
example, I'm pretty sure Stop is a 300 power level, and Warmech is higher than that.
Ah. Well, now we're just sad.
Quad X is the most common example of that.
Yeah.
It's kill or no kill.
Yeah, Quad X is the only one I actually pay attention to, because it's the only power word that I actually care about.
Right, we're almost done this featherless folk here. Almost. You've cheated much. And just know the route of this dungeon. That is a lot of key cavern keys. I could probably finish... No. There is a hard required section of Feather for D3. Sadly.
I just got a sword.
Woo, sword!
Hooray!
Are you ready to go now?
400.
I'm ready to go through a lot of places that I wasn't before, at least.
It's been 80.
It's
Wow.
been 400.
As we all do
It's
some
been
version of
so
Titanic. I'll never let go, Jack. So. That's what I think
I'm out.
every time.
I was gonna say, I saw one once that was, Jack, are you there? And it just shows, like, Skype, log out. It just leaves. That's Ballad on Me, which doesn't help me get much, but... Ugh.
I think I'll try to eat a pineapple.
As you do. Alright.
We're getting there. We're getting there,
There.
everyone.
We're getting a first instrument. It's fine.
Fizzle, did you promote your black belt?
I did. I have fixed MDEF.
Okay.
Fizzle
Wait.
is being led by the most yoked character model in existence.
What's the wait for?
Oh, sorry. I just I heard that about fixed MDef. Does that mean that an upgraded black belt just loses all of their magic defense?
No, that's what happens in a standard one.
Okay.
Final Fantasy Randomizer, or Final Fantasy is weird, and the MDF behavior has been preserved. We think it's an error, but we can't prove it's an error, so we don't fix it. In standard play, the black belt will get 4 MDF per level, while the upgraded version, the Master, will only get 1 MDF per level. So if you want to have the best MDF you can, you don't promote your black belt until they're basically at the level you want them at. Because otherwise they'll lose out on a bunch of MDF they would otherwise have. Fixed MDF can work in a couple of different ways. I'm assuming you went with 3-4 MDF, Fizzle?
Correct.
Yeah. So one of them is the black belt, instead of getting 4-1, that's 4 for the black belt, 1 for the master, we'll get 3-4, or 3 for the black belt and 4 for the master. Another way of doing it is to do inverted ratios, and that basically resets the MDF for every single character in the game to follow a more ratio-based style. That one's weird. 3-4 is easy to explain and understand.
Alright, and now... 'tis my favorite moment. We get to find out, are they real fake floors?
I was just going to say, there's a lot of Final Fantasy where there's errors that we had to fix. Our game was buggy as hell on the NES. But there's a few other things where it's just like, we don't know what this is supposed to do or not. So we're going to preserve whatever dumb behavior it has because we have to.
I mean, you want to see some dumb behavior here? Check this out. Real fake floors. Floor does not exist because certain screens aren't loaded. So we're just hitting them from off screen. I've also referred to that as pixie dust and wishes because it just either works or it doesn't. And if you reload this screen for the eagle, it will force the floor there, which is how you do the bomb quick kill on him.
I will say your game is strange, only from the fact that there are so many glitches in here that you guys have just preserved.
Yep. Well, Dave knows if he removed them, we would be very sad.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have anything like that in Final Fantasy that we can do.
You could pretend.
But it doesn't actually help us while we're playing it.
I got ambushed by Bahamut. He's standing right there.
I love it when that happens. You can't. You die. Oh my god, you died.
Jeez.
Yep, Bahamut ambushed me and dealt 900 damage on the opening turn.
Dang, son!
Dragon King is mad.
He was not putting up with your crap anymore.
Yeah, you thought you were here to kill me, but it is I who will kill you.
No class change for you.
He's probably extra pissed because Tia has been removed. No Dragon Queen.
The downside of playing with forced fight Bahamut with buffed Bahamut is sometimes he's just gross.
You know what? I should have kept that mushroom. After seeing what I got.
So says
that is another item.
I was gonna say, so says every Link to the Past player as well.
Yeah. I got a sneeze building, so if I disappear very briefly, I apologize. That said, we can get a new mushroom at least. And we can use it for glitches, because it will help me get to different places in dungeons. Because what we can do with it is... People have probably noticed me pip buffer when I was trying to get into the D6 area, as well as a different time when I was going into the back of Villa. With Toadstool, or the mushroom, however you want to refer to it, you can avoid doing those buffers because having the mushroom overhead will just make it that you fall to the bottom of the hole. Right, speaking of... Yeah. Upgrade this piece of wood, I guess, in the tracker. Oop, TK doing the ravine check, which I would have done forever ago with flippers, but that's me, I'm crazy. What am I doing? Oh yeah. Ooh, my rod, eh? I like rods.
Okay, I just have 2 ribbons and mermaids.
So Fizzle, did you turn on a forced rollback fight as well?
What was the question?
Fizzle, did you turn on a forced warback fight as well?
I did not, but I have randomized encounter tables, so there is a Warmech somewhere, and there's a seems to be better than average chance that it'll be unrunnable.
Better than average, you say. I like it.
What is your unrunnable chance right now? Because it seems like you're finding a lot of them.
0 to 100.
So
you've done this to yourself.
So there's a 50-50 chance everything you fight is unrunnable.
Well, it's a sliding scale.
Between 0 and 100, yes.
Yeah.
On average... You really just want to be here for a few hours, that's what you're saying.
Apparently.
I mean, if LADX is going to take 2 to 3 hours, I'll take 2 to 3 hours.
You say that like I'll take 2 to 3. Okay, I generally take about 2.5.
It's almost been 2, yeah.
Ago, but...
Yeah, it's almost been 2.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for you to do this featherless.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of featherless. It's quite annoying. I mean, I have most of the tools to skip feathers, so... And all of the money in the world, but nothing to spend it on.
Meanwhile, Admiral Tryhard gets ribbons and carbonates bubbles.
Yep. It's not a legit run unless you carbonate the bubbles.
Then my runs are never legit.
Well, my only run is, and I'm gonna keep it that way. That said, for those who want to watch me do Final Fantasy Randomizer again, it is now a 10,000 point reward on my channel. Though I am also considering potentially having it as a, what do you call it? Reward thing. So over time, over the course of a month or something, people could pool their points to make me play one per month. If they so sought to make me learn more about the game.
You'll get there eventually.
Which, yeah, nobody wants that, These guys.
Admiral doing a bit of a grind in the desert by Mirage Tower. Getting some stakes taken care of.
And that's why you put boots on A.
Oh, hey.
And finally,
Feint.
Toe finally.
Yes, very useful. So now he's just 2 key items away and some shards from Go mode.
Hey. You might have my feather.
If he gets those 2 items, but he's looking for loot and key still. Have you hinted for them yet, Admiral?
I have not. I've had too much to explore to really hint for him.
And you are
Same.
10 shards away still.
You know, I'm actually a lot closer because I know where Kraken and Tiamat are.
There you go, so you're 2 shards away then. As the bosses at Earth Shrine and Volcano Shrine, whoever they may be, are worth 2 shards each, and the bosses at Sea and Air, which Admiral knows where they're at, are worth 4 shards each.
Speaking of air, Lord Fizz will be pulling Tiamat.
Alright.
Alright, so my loot is in Sky Palace for Fizzle. And
I have good news and bad news. The good news is that I have 2 boxes left behind Tiamat and Sky. The bad news is if I don't find a loot there may be problems.
I mean, what is Archipelago without problems?
oh, hey, that's all the shards I need.
Why wouldn't you find the loot there if the loot's there?
Oh, there's a loot for tryhard.
There you go.
And then my key is at Mamu Ukuku Prairie in TK Ninjas.
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Behind my ocarina. Which is in Fizzle's Earth Cave.
Well, dang. I'm not even involved here. I don't have anyone's anything. Yeah, I get to just hang out, enjoy myself, try to remember what I need to do.
There's a 50-50 chance I'll need that rod to find that ocarina.
Never have been.
Let's scale check, and then I go back into D3, I think. I think that's my list of plays.
I want to curb stomp a speed bump.
Unfortunately,
you
we
do.
just have a carbuncle to squish.
Please tell me that slow didn't land. Wow, he has a lot of slow. Wow, he has a lot of
Alright.
dead.
Who wants to take the gamble that that boss I didn't fight in D3 had my feather?
Okay, 8 shards to go for Admiral, but you still need your key, don't you?
Yep. And that's in Mamu. That's blocked by Ocarina, which is blocked by Earth Cave.
Which is blocked by a rod.
Well, there's enough behind that Earth Cave check that I'll check to see if it's one of the ones that is before the rod block.
One of those FFR loose item annoyances when the rod is somewhere in Earth, pre-rod lock is the last place you check.
See, I got all the keys for there. I got all the keys for there. Just a quick update on my my key situation. Gonna say I am. If I could get Feather, it would be go mode, I think, because I have enough random dungeon stuff. But I don't need it yet.
Oh, I forgot that the plus 80 stat goes to a random stat.
No, the intelligence bonus?
No. Red Mage got MDef.
Well, yeah, but it's the plus 80 for... Oh, because it's chaos.
No,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That was the 80 thief agility upgrade I had.
Nice. So it's just a big chunk of MDef on that red mage that apparently didn't matter because the slow still went through.
Donkey boy. Oh, thank Ripes. Okay, we can.
What?
Wear Feather.
Nice.
Someone want to put that on my tracker?
Sure, I guess I can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Go finish this
Yay.
thing.
Yeah.
So apparently everything was just lurking in Earth Cave now.
Apparently. LADX, the best Final Fantasy game? Yep. Gonna say, funny enough, there is Final Fantasy Adventure on the Game Boy, which pretty much uses the same engine. They're basically the same game.
It is a very Zelda-ish adventure.
What was that game originally? It wasn't actually a Final Fantasy game. It was.
It's Second Densetsu. It's one of the mana games,
There we go.
which was eventually redubbed as, depending upon when you were playing it, Sword of Mana, and then there's another name for it now. So it got another subtitle again when it was ported to the PSP. It's not Sword of Mana anymore. It's something else.
Oh darn! No, no. I haven't screwed up that trick in a long time. And I guess people are going to see it in about 6 seconds and see my embarrassment.
Well, I'll mock you for it.
Yep. As you should.
Oh, yep, there it is. Are you soft lock?
Yep. Yeah, it's a soft lock. If you fail that trick, you do get soft lock. The best part is I don't need to do that trick with the number of keys I have. But it's, do I want to do that trick or a different trick? And I did mention the different trick earlier in this run, which was Brock clipping through the key block. Which is why I should probably show that one off instead. Just let me skip the boss entirely, you know? So rather than do that, if I had succeeded at that trick, got a hook for the ninja. Because a trade item tracking has been a little lacking on my end. It's my fault.
It's fine.
Really?
So because you need the small key, you can get text here, which means, there you go, diagonal, and you're good.
I will try hard bringing back up the black belt waiting for it to be killed, but finally the fiend dies anyway, so job done.
Job's done. SCV, good to go, sir.
I know that reference.
You do.
You must build additional pylons.
You must. Which is funny because I'm a
Spawn
Zerg
more
player.
overlords.
Yep, spawn more overlords. That's the one for me. Gonna say it's telling I'm a Zerg player because both of my magic decks just make 400 tokens. All right. Second instrument. PK sitting on how many instruments?
None currently.
Ah. Yeah, that'll do that.
It'll happen quick.
Yep. Don't worry, you'll get there. I do need flippers still, if that's holding back one of my boss fights. Not necessarily a dungeon.
You could always hint for them.
Could. But let me get what I can get first. Which is generally my mentality when it comes to hints. Do everything you can, then worry about hints. Because worst case or best case scenario, you find what you were looking for anyway because you still had checks. Because the only other exception is if someone hints something that I can't get, I will sometimes hint for the item I need for them, because it is more important for me to focus that, because if they can finish because of it, then it results in I will just get everything they have anyway. Always be self-interested. Yeah, this is the one dungeon I cannot technically complete without flippers. Ah! Moment of silence for the lost. Right.
Oh yeah, Tryhard's killed technically Earth Cave and Sea Cave's bosses.
As you do.
As
Oh,
you
hey,
do.
Ocarina.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh, hey, the other ocarina. Both ocarinas simultaneously.
STK Ninja also gets the kill through the floor.
Floors were real and fake.
Yep. Real fake floors. I was gonna say, I think most of the rooms in the dungeon won't cause it to spawn, so if you have to at any point during the dungeon run save and quit, you'll generally get it.
Cool, and I've marked off the harpsichord.
Good. I call it the piano because it's just wrong.
Too small for a piano.
My splits. Yep, my splits for playing LADX, every instrument is named wrong. Except for I think like the triangle's not named wrong because it's a triangle. It's kind of hard to pretend it's something else.
You call it a square.
And I also did opt that the conch is still the magic conch because all hail the magic conch. All right, I don't need to get that.
Now here comes the big question. Will Admiral Tryhard be able to survive Bahamut?
Signs point to maybe. Did he ambush you? Yeah.
He did.
Nice. Is it just like 100% guaranteed?
Apparently, for this guy, his ambush must be super high.
His ambush must be 100.
Oh my god. Probably it could be 255.
Admiral, you didn't need to try this hard. It's too much. Oof.
And those evasion stacks out, the red mage finally doesn't take a hit.
Who wants a dip?
And with the setup time, Admiral gets through Bahamut and gets promoted.
Excellent.
3 shards to go.
Not sure how much you need.
3 shards and a key away.
3 shards and a key.
3 shards and a key, people. 3 shards and a key. This is the FFR promise.
Not to be confused with the keys. That's his own gun.
Yes. Which are actually bats, but you know.
Maybe it's just that all bats are keys.
There's a Venn diagram.
The bats are
somewhere.
keys, the snakes are ropes, it's fine. Makes me wonder if it's like a Japanese translation thing.
Hmm.
There's the key.
Awesome.
Mamu, best song.
So it's down to shards and a lead on Fizzle's side.
Just shards for tryhard, and then item confetti should happen.
I just have to kill a walking bipedal nuclear tank, and then whatever team that is, and then chaos.
You should be fine. Just put everyone else up in front. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
Fine.
One that we can confirm has both Cure 4 and Nuclear.
Well, you can go by
Q4
haste now, so...
And Fast and Saber.
Sorry, I use the, dyslexia-friendly, accessible spell names, so... fast is haste for me.
Either way, Warmech has it.
He has it, you need it.
Fizzle, 2 hours 15, finding some pirates to beat up.
Very late pirates. What did they do to deserve this?
World's most one-sided boss fight.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty one-sided Zelda boss fights.
Finds a 17th century pirate ship, unleashes a nuclear weapon on it. Yeah, that seems right.
I was gonna say it's a classic instance of nuclear bomb versus coughing baby. On one side, we have a nuclear bomb. Can it beat the reigning champion, coughing baby?
I mean, the long-term effects of coughing baby, though. What's it coughing about? What's it gonna give you?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure most germs are gonna die to a nuclear bomb. Just, you know, when you bleach the earth, you might not have to worry that badly.
Slot 2. It was
see.
slot 2.
Yeah. Nope, no one learns that. Womp womp. Sad black belt learns nothing.
He learned nuke. He was fine for the early game.
Have a dragon sword. Probably good, right?
Oh,
You'd think with the name, but sadly not often.
I'm gonna say, that was most of my Final Fantasy 1 experience. That sounds good, right? Only to be drastically disappointed.
The Vorpal is such a cool name and a cool sounding idea.
And it's a good
And-
sword in Golden Sun. Like,
And it rolled -5. Woo.
That dragon sword was a lamp sword -3.
Yeah.
well, it tried. Got a nice glowing participation award. Oh, yay, okay, that's an instrument for me. Level 2 bracelet. Donk. It's red now.
Yep, there it is.
King and the princess were hoarding their treasury in the throne room.
Off towards a Warmack doot doot.
Why am I doing this? I have this key.
It's kind of deep down in there, dang.
You know, why can't I get this kind of fireball RNG when I'm doing an actual run? Yeah, well, alright. Alright.
Here we go.
PK also got a hoop.
Not bothering to take any hydras for XP, just trying to go straight to the Mormec.
I can't swim, I can't do that.
I agree with that decision. Just get it out of the way. He's in go. He just needs to get out of here.
Setting up the ablated meat shield pack of double black mage front end.
Double black mage front end sounds like some sort of euphemism for something in a restaurant specifically. Like, I'd like the double black mage front end. No sauce. We've hit runner focus time, it's fine.
I mean, mainly I'm focusing on what I have left to do.
Defense.
Pretty much. Because I'm doing this dungeon, then I gotta go do another one, and then I am technically in BK mode, but I'm not sure it's gonna last long. Pretty sure most of us are getting close to done regions. No matter what the tracker says.
Ice 3 followed up by Swirl, no punches to affect for those ruse sticks, just tons of damage dealt by spells.
Yeah, the tracker is just a suggestion for Zelda.
Yep. That and, you know, we didn't have a proper tracker on today, it's my fault. Gotta take the blame. My fault. I probably should have put the notice up way earlier, too. That made a difference. Yeah, well. You live, you learn, and you play LADX. And then you know, never learn to not play LADX. It's fine. Man, I just load and fizzle up with shards. 3 back to back. That's go mode, right?
5 hits for
I'm
1100
missing a ton.
damage, and 4 hits for 326. This is a very absorby Warmech.
He's a very absorbent Warmech, but he is a Warmech.
And a dead Warmech at that. That is a chunk of experience and a clear path for the final shards needed for Admiral Tryhard to get into go mode.
Oh, I also just sent them another one. Does that matter? It's a late birthday present.
And it is the Black Knight from Final Fantasy II.
Ooh.
I assume Final Fantasy II.
No! That letter could have been anything. More shards for Fizzle.
Keep stacking them up. He's the one that needs them.
Yep. I'm working on it. You gotta work on it, you know?
Flark.
Right.
So far, this Black Knight proving about as effective as the Black Knight in Final Fantasy II.
Looks to be.
Got the Black Knight here that Admiral Tryhard is fighting. Doesn't seem as bad as Barbarissa was.
Well, it expected to have a war mech guarding its door, so it didn't really need to be that buff. Tricky, yes, but strong not necessarily, and that is a dead Black Knight, or Black Knight in a go mode for Admiral Tryhard.
Yay!
Our first racer on stream to get into go mode in either game.
Guys, say this is a race? Very suddenly becomes a race, as you do when you're playing any multi-world. Ah. The Admiral's broken. Quick.
I
Help the
just
tire.
checked Corneria's shop.
Right, I can't swim.
One cheap item that you never think to see. Now, I don't remember, were the flags set up with short toe, or is this going to be a long dive?
This is a short toe.
Mine is long.
Nobody had consistent anything. We didn't plan.
Beelzebub hits hard and has nuke. However, it is dodgy beams. Carbuncle has crack and basically nothing else. Chaos is thick and hits hard. And Black Knight also has nuke.
Black Canuck. Ooh, Captain Canuck, that'd be good.
It's your Canadian coming out again. Vorpal rolled only -1. It's still a Vorpal.
I can't help it. I was stuffed with Canadian when I was born. Oh yeah, so for those still looking to figure out LADX from this, this is the pixel perfect nonsense. Or coming up shortly when the delay gets there. And a trick probably nobody knew. Yes, you gotta line yourself up with just these right pixels. You got about a 3 pixel window, and you gotta super jump off the wall up onto the right side. And there you go, you can skip basically every key in this dungeon except for the nightmare key. Unlike D7, where you can also skip the nightmare key if you know the right tricks. And there's 2 to pick from. 1 sucked.
Tails are working on a carry as Beelzebub for Admiral Tryhard.
Short toe for her, very
Swaps the
nice.
bug.
Yeah. Let's see if this carry will be as bad as the Barbarissa will be as bad as the previous one. Dallas, whatever you
From
want
what
to
the
call it.
hint bud said, they probably.
Well, there's one.
And it's Oh yes, so people know I have set it to auto-release and auto-collect in the settings, so there shouldn't be any need to do anything like that. The moment someone finishes, it should explode into confetti for everybody.
Woo! And it looks like Fizzle's nearly there, just to stick for loot.
Yep.
Just a couple shards off from the looks of it.
Loot and 3 shards.
Yep.
I'm about to enter a go mode, so if
A
it's
go
something I
mode
can
or
do,
the go mode?
or sorry, BK mode, the opposite
Oh.
of a go mode.
A stop mode.
Yes. A definitive red light.
Admiral Triarch finding the evasiveness of this fiend so much, and bring back the Black Belt to lock things up, and the Black Belt dies before it has a chance.
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Ooh, life and battle is on. And gets the lock off. That's helpful.
And now to demonstrate everyone's favorite glitch, because I'm here and I can. We'll demonstrate the ultimate meme glitch.
Try to get all the chip damage they can on that. And Barbarissa is down. Good to see.
Little 49 on the red mage, capped out at last.
Use the wang. Yes. Alright. Out of
It's like
bounds.
the swag sword.
Yes.
That's a chunky red mage, that's for sure. Not often you see a red mage sitting at 999.
Not often you see a red mage.
Well, it depends on
As
who's
a
playing.
red mage fan, I must approve.
Okay, I'm looking quite red mage right now. That said, what do we need? We need flippers really badly. We also need at least 1 nightmare key, but the odds of that are pretty good. Alright. I'm gonna cash in my first hint.
The flips.
The flips, they are in Fizzle's world in Marsh Cave 7. Which
Can't
probably
make me
means
go
nothing.
back.
Huh?
I can. Because if you get that, I can finish.
He's never going
Drive
back
a
to that
hard
marsh cave.
But I need those.
He
What
spent,
if your last shards are in my stuff I can't do without flippers?
he,
Yeah, I'll head
spent
there
an,
after Earthgame.
he spent an hour in there. Don't make him go back.
He's got to. My flippers are in there. I can't be a mermaid that can't swim.
Trauma.
Such trauma.
The Pavlovian fear of trying to enter that dungeon ever again.
I do realize I have 1 thing, or 5 things I can do, so let's go do them on the off chance, but those feathers are 1 of 3 potential things stopping go mode. Because I could potentially get a couple of keys that make up the difference of the flippers. Which is why 6 instruments is the way to go.
Black Knight is down.
Black Knight.
Yep. Makes us on to
Man
chaos,
left.
and yep, that's we're getting there. We're getting there. Davian, did you want
I
to call
believe
this
in you.
one?
Why not? We got a red mage with a black belt, nothing else alive. Chaos here showing up as, well, 9 garlands.
Garland and friends. Pop a garland, whack a garland, however you want to call it. Oh, with
Tops coming out, paralyzing the very evidently stunned black belt. Thankfully, the red mage being the body that actually matters in this composition of the swings and swings and swings, but not being able to ruse up or utilize block or any other spells that black belt has to offer, or master as it is,
And never will.
coming out for no effect.
You through.
Yep, that black belt will never
Oh,
will
Lord.
never do
No, on
anything.
the red mage.
Oh,
Well, the red mage is the swing body, but that means
I
there's
can't
no more
ruse.
Yeah, but you
defense
can't ruse
stick
now.
or power bonk. Well, swing better be working. Oh, Brack goes on. That's actually not horrible if he can use a soft in battle, but wait, he can't use items, so he can't bring that up. That's another value of the mute. No caster items, no spells, and no items.
this is actually a really terrible boss fight. Garlands with a bunch of spells is grody. And a bunch of
It's a
time-wasting
9-pack
spells,
of
too.
trolls.
Yeah. It's a lot of time-wasting spells.
Thankfully, Aether doesn't protect against swinging Mad Stick of Masa, but all the spells that could finally hit that 3 in 256 chance of something, it's stacking the probabilities.
Everyone remember like an hour ago when I said I didn't want to go back to D2? Going back to D2.
All the swings, all the casts, slowly but surely the garlands are going down, trying to get through against some casts of actual damage, which is helping with that 999 hit point stack on the red mage, keeping it standing. Just for a troll, not actually enough to counter the 1,000 plus damage that the Moss can do in a swing. There's another nearly 1,000 garland and 2 left nuclear coming out. Not going to be enough to see the rub missing. 1 garland left. The chaos in this case. And surviving some very low hits. Or just stupid thick, I can't tell which.
This is cheeky chaos.
Uh-oh. Oh!
And nuke to go into nuclear. 224 life left. Brack comes out, no effects. 2 hits for 2 damage. Lit Brain Rage, that's not that great for Red Mage. 136 left. Swing gets a miss. Swing from the sword. 290. Even the low rolls. Glare goes for nothing. Swing in 2 damage, 2 hits. Not being above 42 damage on fire, too. That is 902 or 92 damage, pardon me, for the Red Mage. 290, that's more damage done. Flash has no effect. Swing for 223, still getting some damage. This card comes out, and that is a killed tank. That is a wipe out of Short Topher.
Oh.
And a blue stake for Lord Visible. How tasty. He's finally strong enough to survive the marsh dive. 2 hours later.
That
Oh,
is-
that's okay.
That is the worst fight. Like, everyone's like, oh, Whack-A Garland's not so bad. Whack-A Garland's terrible in that particular composition.
See, we told him that he didn't need to try that hard. Right, Admiral?
Okay, this chaos,
Oh.
not with all of the spells that garlands have. Chaos has Expert.
That said, I got those flippers.
Wretched.
Yeah.
That was just wretched.
Do it again. Punished for your sin.
Just chew on some extra steaks, get some meat on the bones of those black mages so they're more likely to survive.
Put them in the back slots. Have a fizzle shard. Fizzle? Yes. Words. That should be one of Fizzle's last shards, right?
One more.
One more? Alright. Don't worry, I'll find it. I got clippers, I can check an extra dungeon now. And finish a boss, but I'll do the boss after I check the other dungeon. There's more checks.
Also that loot from TK Ninja's key cavern.
Well, that's on TK Ninja.
No, it's not.
There's that last shard. Or wait, is that the last shard?
One left to go for physical.
Nope, that was the last one.
Yes, it is.
Now
I'm
just need a loop.
Never mind.
There we go. All stars achieved. Maddie did her job. One of her 3 jobs, you know. We don't talk about the other 2.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that these 3 are in yet.
Alright, hopefully we don't have triple that. Because I don't want to go back. You can't fake me. Probably. They do.
Yeah.
I'll take my right, and I'd say be ready to run for a different day this week, but let's not do that again. I fell for that trap once, never again.
Nope, I found D5. I'm still looking for D3.
I thought I saw you in D3 earlier.
Nope, I've never seen it.
Well, I have guaranteed access to all of my dungeons now, regardless of what this one is, so... Oh yeah, now I get the Bottle Grotto key.
You're welcome.
I don't want to climb up there again. Please don't make it the last dungeon I have to do.
There's a carbuncle down for Admiral Tryhard on the second dive in.
Perfect.
Time to go swat a bug. Up where it is before the bug.
Oh yay, the best. There, I gave Tryhard a tip. It'll be useful for taking down all those garlands.
All the rusing out. It doesn't say the black belt, it goes down first. More ruses as defense stored, stacking up, trying to keep all 3 of the remaining bodies up. Chewing through the ruse charms, or the charges of ruse casting pretty fast, but if it's needed, it's needed. That's 3 stacks on all characters. Cure 2, heal 2, and power bonk. Tryhard gets fade, cure 3 out, gets 4 power bonk up. Sizzle is on that tile ahead of the loop plate to get into the pass. Dealing with some waters and nagas.
Oh man, 19 whole shells.
You're almost there.
Bringing out the black belt.
I'm almost there. It might have a nightmare key.
Block 2 comes out, trying to get some evasion down. Get that swing from the red mage in for most of the damage, and it misses despite the lock 2 coming out. More lock 2 may be needed.
I'm pretty sure TK entered this dungeon before I did, but I somehow got ahead of him. Oh wait, I'm watching with delay, that's why.
Yeah.
That would do it.
Yeah, there's like 30 seconds away for you.
Yeah.
Comes out and finally connects 624 to go with the chip damage from the Black Mages. Gets that one Fiend out of the way, but there's still 2 Fiends to go, and some Chaos and Garlands.
Lots of garlands. I don't even think it's the Chaos is the real fight. I think it's that Garland is the real fight.
Garland utilized the time warp to replicate himself.
Well, if you can have some of those black belt or black mages alive, and if anyone can get off of Fade before they all get put to sleep and muted, that might take care of the Garlands before they can pose too much of a threat.
The real test is, will this Black Knight get the nuke off and wipe the board of Black Mages again? I do believe that's what happened the first time.
Well, Tryhard's trying to pump out as best as they can to get them down quicker.
And Fizzlebeat is out of Toph and going somewhere else.
As you do.
Stop it.
Gonna say, has the Lord taken their loot hint yet? Oh right, yeah. PK's got it. Hashtag, it's not my fault. I'll take it.
Black Knight is swinging, Black Belt punching, nothing really connecting. Fire 3 coming up from the Black Knight, swing, swing. Nope, going to heal 3, swing, swing, and swing. Heal 3 comes out, stacks up some life to counter out that fire burning from the Black Mage, or the Black Knight, I should say. Masa Swing comes out 162, not getting much connection. These are some really either absorby or evadey fiends, either way. Not having access to fast is very much not helping Admiral Tryhard. That doubling of attack count, and there's the nuclear. All the Black Mages stand up.
Will the real Black Mage please stand up? Your car is parked outside. The lights are on.
Getting some heal 2s out, getting another punch in with the Master, getting another swing in with Red Mage. That time it misses. Flash coming out, having no effect on the party. Free turn.
The main issue is that Black Knight specifically silenced my Black Belt.
I mean, okay, no, that joke's a little spicy for the FFR channel. Let's not do it.
Not being able to use the lock, which is the key reason to have that Black Belt up, is pretty much devastating.
He is totally evasive.
Resources.
Oh my god. You're slowly chipping away.
You can do it. We believe in you.
Well, not with all those misses. Oh, and slow. Of course slow. Why not slow?
One, 3.
Sadly, there's no cure forecast to clear that mute. Does improve lamp also get rid of mute? I do not remember.
I think so.
It's Dark and Stun. I think it's Dark and Stun.
Well, the problem with mute is, of course, if you have it cast on you, you can't do anything, including any of the spells, to cure yourself of the mute, which is just ridiculous in this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Later Final Fantasies fixed that, where you can at least unmute yourself with mute, but that's not in this game.
Well, when you look at the difference between Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy II, you realize just how much more time to develop the game could actually affect the game's content and quality.
Are we talking SNES Final Fantasy 2 or NES Final Fantasy 2? Because
Yes.
the NES Final Fantasy 2 is just whack.
It's wiggity wiggity whack. Woodly woodly what?
Like Marimbas.
that is everyone standing after the stoned black belt got brought back up. Everyone's fully healed. Black mage is to the front, black belt in third, red mage in fourth, and we have a fight against Garlands and Chaos. Fade coming out. No fade cast for the second black mage. Unfortunately, having to use a lit stack nuke and defense sword.
Are you kidding me?
So this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well then. Nope, stop.
Stop hits the black mage that had the fade cast.
Stop goes
the red
through.
mage gets paralyzed.
On the red mage, come on.
I am go mode, Maddie.
Oh? For everything?
Yes.
Alright.
Okay, nuke,
Yay.
nuke. 5, 6, 7,
I have
8.
two instruments to get, but I have the means to get them.
Alright. I was gonna say I am one key from go mode, so. Just one nightmare key.
Okay, at least you can start
So
locking and getting
cast
the
gets
fight
the kill.
organized.
Hopefully at some point the red mage will stand up.
Yep.
It's not sleep, it does not auto-recover after being at 50 life or above.
It doesn't. It's obnoxious.
And
Oh,
he's
he's up.
awake.
He's up. He just needs to get one more ruse off to really prevent anything. Better position than you were in before.
3 bodies up, 300 plus life across the board. Getting lock casts out before the swings get out. Fire 2 doing chip damage comparatively to that red mage. Still at almost 950 health. Tempers out, going for swings.
This was a recalibration that was needed.
705 hits.
Yeah.
Tapper coming up before the swing again. Swing comes out, 76 nuclear comes out, does not take down anyone in the party.
Still, you got time to go to Volcano's chest 13.
4 hits, 115. Tapper comes back out on the red mage. Red mage swings again, 6 hits for 947. Flash comes out, no effect from Chaos.
So apparently the chest that Fizzle skipped had something important in it. What's in it?
It is the D8 Nightmare Key, which is the one that is the easiest for me to just finish. That said, those garlands look to be dealt with, because I got a bunch of stuff.
GG.
Huzzah!
I got
Man,
literally a bunch of money.
Only I had fast for this red mage.
Oh yeah.
Cast and or lock caster items.
That said, we know that TK is in go mode, so we should be pretty fine. Yeah, I'm in BK mode for one of 3 keys. One of 3.
As Fizzle dies Volcano for the one box that was missed, it seems.
Yep, that'll let me just finish, and then we'll be good. Not that I think I have much for anyone left.
Now, I noticed Fizzle has 2 black belts up, or 2 masters. I'm assuming there's a flag that was set up that allows him to shuffle or recruit.
Yeah, I have tavern mode on.
Ah.
So the party member store is literally a party member store.
I was gonna say, I could-
Drum.
I thought I could remember seeing a white mage that was there at one point, and I didn't think that was going to be long for this world.
Yeah, normally the black belt or master can't learn Fade, so its name would be quite unusual. One advantage of being so far in Volcano at this point is there isn't anyone really willing to stand and face.
So, funny thing about the seed I had the whole time, every
Oh.
time I won a fight, it would just play the game over theme. It's like, I almost had to fight an instinct to reset across the whole seed whenever I won a fight.
This is the wrong fanfare.
No, it's the correct fanfare. Well, ow. That's not helpful.
And down you go. Because we're just letting the XPs run away, because really at this point they really don't matter.
Alright, there is one more check I can go get. It is horrible, but I can go get it. But if I get it, it also means I can't finish a dungeon. So let's use one more hint here. TK, you gonna beat Genie soon?
Yes, I will.
Alright then, I'm gonna go to D1. Because, Yo Genie have my Tail Cave Nightmare key, which means that can put me in go mode instead.
So wouldn't you know what he's fighting now?
Yeah, I did see it on the thing, I just didn't know if he was missing anything. Because, yeah, the
There
one...
it is.
Yep. Perfect. Alright. I don't know how many instruments you need, TK.
I'm in go mode now.
Oh. How many instruments? Didn't
6.
answer my question. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'm on my way to my 6th. So we'll both finish before Fizzle. No, we won't. Actually, no. You finishing will give him the loot, which means...
He might finish before
You're
you.
gonna have to go all the way. You might. Not by much if he does.
We have a race here.
We
Wait.
do.
Y'all
It's a
are
race.
both in go mode and I don't need to fish this key out?
No, you're good. You can do whatever you need to prep, because he just gave me an alternate key. We were both on 6 instruments, so neither of us needed everything. If we needed everything, it would have been a bad time.
You literally just inspired Fizzle to do a full loop of bottom volcano looking for the key, and let him know that he does not need to get you the key
At the
after
last
he's done
moment.
every single room but one.
Yeah.
Well, go get it just for the
That's how it
sake.
is.
No, I've already left.
He's not helping you now.
You gave him permission to not help, so he will refuse to help.
Oh, all right. We're gonna skip Marin, much as she is best girl. We like to go fast in this house. But yes. DK finishing will get you your loot, and then I will thankfully at least be in a good position to go to Deathel, but it shouldn't take me too long. Because, yeah. And I'll explain it to people, though. That taking those 2 Nightmare Key hints was because the last check I could do was a gamble, because if the Nightmare Key I could get was for that dungeon, I couldn't complete it because I no longer had the key necessary to get to the Nightmare.
Well, you don't plan to soft lock yourself?
No, it's
on
fine.
50-50?
Gotta soft lock yourself on those 50-50s. Every
And
time.
Fizzle operating on long Topher, not short Topher.
That said, fun fact, the last boss, not the final boss that I'm fighting, is good old Moldorm, and with red tunic and a level 2 sword, he will die in a single hit.
Gotta let out a horror operation.
Yep. No! Ah! Or he'll knock me in a hole, and I am bad at the game.
Just don't be bad.
I was like,
Don't be
yeah.
bad, it's fine.
Have you tried being good at the game?
Apparently not. There we go.
See, GG's supposed to be good game, not get good.
Sometimes it's both. Oh yay. He had the blue tunic, so now I don't do extra damage to the final boss.
Gotta hate out of order operation.
Yep. Didn't it confirm by now that I'm bad at LADX and good at the same time? Yep. I am a paradox of LADX skill. I am both good and bad. Until
Like
you
the
see me
power
run,
of
I'm
both.
both. I'm Schrodinger's speedrunner. Until you see me speedrun, I'm both good and bad.
And then we see it, and then we confirm, yep, that's pretty bad.
Yep.
Here come all the things.
Yep.
Fizzle waiting
Oh.
for TK by taking some random fights for some experience, not wasting the spell charges to do it.
Oh, hey, that's where my canoe was.
Where was it?
In TK Seed at Spark Chest Angler's Tunnel.
Oof.
Never found D4 either.
I found every dungeon. I visited them all.
Lord Fizzle
Clearly you didn't
be-
need the canoe.
beating his drum furiously.
X, I need the power cable for the headset. I don't know how to plug sensitive if it works. But I just lost all audio on stream because the headset died. And
That's
slowed through
I
rhythm.
missed.
It's a level
The
50
delay is
black
enough
belt.
that Speed Bump Mark II went down at the same time Carry 2 went down.
Lord, those chests were just there.
What
to
is
mess with
Carry
you.
2 if not bigger speed bump?
You'd be surprised.
I know, she was the first boss I had to fight when I played. It was not a fun time. I was level 6. Okay, sorry, I went into Volcano level 6 and it was a very rough grind. Oh, come on. Aggie, why we gotta do this? I thought we were pals.
Well, carry 2 does go down nice and quick. Yes, there we go. 2 punches. Well, 10 punches from 2 people each, so 20 punches to death.
There we go. All right, and one more hit till we're good.
Fizzle remembering to remove all armor and rely purely on the black belt's absorb.
It's not armor. It's just sheer muscle.
It's sheer force of will.
All he needs to do is flex the pecs and nothing can penetrate. And that is Newt coming out from Kraken 2.
All right, and that's me finishing. Yep.
GG's. That's both the Zelda runners taken care of, and that is a Kraken 2 taken care of for Lord Fizzlebeef.
What was even left in this seed?
And
Whole lot of nothing.
I never found shuffled Astos.
Two fiends left. Well, one fiend and the final boss at least for Lord Fizzlebeef as he heals up. Having to potion up on level 50
That's
black belt.
Too much raw muscle power. He's only fueled by by the sheer amount of drinking he has to do.
Having to deal with having to potion up a character in slot 3 that has 999 health.
Believe it. Ah.
That moment where you realize it might be faster to shuffle the characters around before healing than shuffle it back.
Or as Fizzle did, he burned a couple of those Cure 3 charges just to speed things up.
I mean, I don't blame him. I like speed.
We all
How's
must
anyone
like
watching?
speed. It's what we do.
Anyone watching the whole of this will have seen TK and I doing a lot of the same dungeon at the same time, but then I take a completely different route.
And that was one very boring Tia 2, just sat there and died.
I don't know if that says more about your routing or mine.
I use a lot more glitches than you do, having watched your run.
That is fair and true.
Yeah. We were both in D5, and I kept noting that just with the stream delay, I seemed to be ahead of you, but by the time I was fighting Slimeal, you were just getting into him, which meant I saved at least 30 seconds on your routing.
I also went to the Nightmare Door and didn't check one of the 2 spots that aren't on my normal path and did not have Nightmare Key.
Which
That
is
is a-
on you.
There's a thick chaos.
That it
just
is.
took 2,800 damage off of that first black belt punching in.
Considering the path
More
you took
pepper
as well, you only had 1 key.
Yes, that's correct.
So you had bow. I remember sending it to you. You can, if you have bow and bombs, you can overkill Master Stalfos, and he will give you an extra key. They took that out in the normal randomizer, but it's still in Archipelago. You can overkill him for extra keys.
Right, but I
19
only
hits,
needed 1 key
40
otherwise.
plus 1,000 damage, or 4 plus 1,000 damage.
I
That's
mean,
a
I
dead
didn't get a
chaos.
second one, I don't think.
Yeah, but you can overkill Master Stalfos for a second key. It's great. You can get up to 6 D5 keys despite 3 being the max by overkilling Master Stalfos.
Not sure where that would have saved me the time, but yeah, should have to look into that, I guess.
It lets you take an alternate route to the boss if you still need to full clear, where you can basically hit every check and just do it in one go.
Oh, okay.
And with that, we have finished.
We did.
Yep. Just as my fanfare is going, it's great.
Finally, the madness is over.
Yep.
At least for now.
Yes. Maddie's Multi-World Mayhem reaches its finale with a lot of good seeds. It was a very good month. So, not that I'm against doing multi-worlds other times, but this is definitely something I think I'm going to make a thing. Multi-world madness every May. The mayhem will begin. And, we'll see how much I'm still working with FFR in a year. They might be tired of me by then.
We're never letting you go.
Oh, okay.
Never. No.
Was it because of that one pun I made?
No, it's because you help out and we need that.
Okay, this is true.
The community is very stripped of volunteers, and we run a lot of stuff.
We're always
Well,
busy.
I try my best when I'm not always busy.
Okay, so let's take a brief moment before we continue into final thoughts. I want to remind people that we have the Duck Derby going on right now actively over on RPG Limit Break. So we're gonna shoot a raid over to that as soon as we're done here. And also, for those of you interested in supporting charity, which should be all of you, on June 16th, 17th, and 18th, the FFR Rando Marathon will be going on in support of the Liam Foundation for LGBTQA+, all the other letters that you can think of. It's charity in northern Midwest. My brain is already fried, and I was just watching this. So come stay tuned for that. LADXR will be there as well as FFR, so it's going to be a good time. You guys, go on and do your final wrap-ups.
I will let the others begin first because, it is the end of my event.
4,388 damage. It's about sending a message.
Always make sure you have all your keys before you go to the doors that are locked.
And in terms of me, this has been Maddie's Multi-World Mayhem every Sunday in May. It was a wonderful time. I want to thank everyone who ran with me. I want to thank everyone who helped me with this last one on FFR. And I want to thank everyone who came out to see them between, on my channel where it was mainly being done and here on FFR. Because, frankly, it's an amazing community that I found myself involved in. And I appreciate every last one of you. So, till then, this will be Maddie, Isabel Zephyr, signing out. And the rest of us, I think, saying goodbye as we hand you over to RPG Limit Break.